The following is a presentation of Grayson Publishing.
Football, while it is a reckoning to individuals, is a bounty for a platoon. The game brings communities together because of one name that shines bright on the front of the jersey. The spirit of team colors, mascots, cheerleaders, and all that comes with the strange fascination that we have with the warrior-spirited game pumps life into a community. Some towns even hang their hat on their football team. Love it or hate it, America is obsessed with football.
Grisham to the 30, to the 25, barrels over a defender. This is going to be Wall running right side, trying to keep it himself, looking for a block for Matthews. He's got the 10, he's got the 5. It is touchdown time in Texas. 25, 20, 15, kiss him goodbye. It is touchdown time in Texas for Tyler Grisham.
Howe Bulldogs football is brought to you by Cavender Home Theater, Sweetie Pies by Karen, Howe Mercantile, Sonic of Howe, Scoggins Funeral Home, Kiri's Coffee Company.
3-yard touchdown for Tyler Grisham, and the Bulldogs regain the lead.
Howe Bulldog football is also brought to you in part by Douglas Propane, Buck Snort Barbecue, Abby's Restaurant, Attorney Micah Belden, and the Howe Athletic Booster Club.
Howe, your Bulldogs are by-district champions again, back-to-back years.
Now let's go live to the stadium with Monty Walker and Michael Mosier.
On the back of my hotel.
Well, Michael, it is area championship time in Texas here. We are in Lindale, Texas, and it is football weather, and it's everything you want. It's the 34th playoff game in the history of Howe Bulldog football, and it is game number 743 in school history, and a big one tonight. Howe's overall win-loss record going back to 1935, 380 wins, 338 losses, and 24 ties. The playoff record, 13 wins, 17 losses, and 3 ties. But the Bulldogs have won 23 of their last 30 games, and those losses come to pretty big, heavy hitters. If you're going to beat Howe, you're going to have to beat Pottsboro twice, Wascom, West Rusk, Gunner, Van Alstyne by 3, and Leonard back 2 years ago, and they went 3 rounds the year prior to that. So in other words, you have to be a really good football team in order to beat the Howe Bulldogs these days, and we'll see tonight. Jefferson is a good football team. They're 9-2 overall. The district winner, they average 401 yards per game on the ground, or on the ground and through the air, pretty balanced. 38 points per game, and they are allowing 21 points per game on defense. Conversely, the Howe Bulldogs average 394 yards per game, and you know all of that's rushing.
Right.
Maybe, I think they average. Well, I don't even want to go there because I don't have that number, but it's not very much passing at all. And the Bulldogs score 33 points per game and allow 23 points per game on defense. That 33 points per game scoring by Howe is 4th overall in school history. Only the 2015, last year's team, scored 34.17. 1998 scored 33.83. 1940 scored 33.70. 1940, what were they doing in 1940 to score that many points?
I don't know.
And then, of course, this year, 33.09. The Howe Bulldogs defense has allowed, or actually is the 8th team since 2000 in that category, giving up 23.18 points per game. Howe coach Zach Hudson has a record of 28-18 here at Howe. That's a remarkable turnaround from the 5-11 record he started with in his first 16 games at Howe. His next win, which hopefully for Bulldog fans will be tonight, and it will tie Buck Smith, who was 29-21 here at Howe back in 1980 through 84. Norman Dickey, who leads the school, leads all head coaches and wins with 51. Then Jim Fryer, and then Davey DeBose, Buck Smith, and Zach Hudson. This is round 2 of the playoffs, and Howe has done fairly well. Not recently, initially did fairly well. We're going to have some air in here, Stephen Braswell. We might have to open that door. It's getting a little rather warm, and the windows are fogging up. It's going to be one of those type games tonight where it's two totally different teams. One is a balanced spread offense, run it fast with athletes all over the field. And then, of course, you know about Howe, they're not going to be as athletic. They're going to lose the pregame tonight. If you look at the roster and you look at the heights and weights, if you were to line up all the players on the field and pick a 22-man roster from all the players on both teams, Howe may have one or two that would get picked.
Right.
They're not going to be the dominant athletes on the field tonight. That's not to slight Howe. That's just the hand you're dealt. However, as Tanner Hartsfield mentioned when I talked to him earlier, it's not about the athletic ability. It's about how well you play as a team. And Howe, we do know that. We do know they play very well as a team, and it's very impressive to see that slot T offense. Now, the only thing that you have to worry about with Jefferson is that almost everybody in their district runs the slot T. So it's not like this is new to them. They have seen it a lot and apparently had some success because they won the district championship over there. So it's not the slot T tonight for Howe is not going to sneak up on Jefferson. If you were thinking that was the case, that is not the case. So we're going to take a quick timeout, and we're going to listen to the coach's show from Zach Hudson. We'll be back right after this.
And now it's time for the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs head coaches show with Zach Hudson.
Coach, last week, a tremendous win, one of the most exciting games that I can remember. 29-28 over Grandview. It came down to the two-point conversion, and I have to ask, was there a chance, if they didn't get the penalty and the personal foul, were you going to go for it anyway on the two-point conversion?
Yeah, we would have went for it. It was, at the time we just put two drives together. That was the last second one. When we kind of marched down the field, we had 0 negative plays. And every play we ran was 3 or more yards for 2 drives in a row. Now, it took to the end of the fourth quarter to get that going, but they were getting worn down, and we had to hurry up going. And they were worn down on defense. And so it was a time where you look back and say they haven't stopped us yet in 2 drives, and you hate to leave something on the table. And, it's one of those decisions you have to make that, could backfire on you, but at the time they hadn't stopped us for 2 drives. And so there was no hesitation. It was with a minute and a half left on the clock. We had to put some pressure on them. And, extra points aren't given either. So, we wanted to make sure they had pressure on them. We felt like if we went ahead, then they would start scrambling a little bit, and they had no timeouts left. And that would really put ourselves defensively in a better situation also to stop them.
Well, speaking of defensively, I thought one of the greatest plays of the night might have been the fact that Tanner Hartsfield saved the touchdown at the 5-yard line just before halftime. And I think that kind of exemplifies the heart of your team. It
does. I mean, we have an effort board for a reason. We concentrate on effort, and our kids give an effort every play and not stop until the whistle blows. And that's offense and defense. And so to see that, I think it really tells the tale of how those kids play. And, there was a lot of plays in that game that, our kids overcame something and made something happen to save a touchdown or to score a touchdown. And, that play just kind of exemplifies the program itself. And, a kid like Tanner Hartsfield doing it, probably couldn't ask for, another kid to do that exact thing. And, a kid that's played for us for so long and done such a good job.
Tyler Grisham got the heavy load of the carries the other night, and it seemed to me that as the game went on, the pounding of Grisham on their defense, it appeared that they just didn't want much more of Grisham.
Well, just the way the offense is designed and, the strength of the offensive line being on one side, that can flip over and do some different things. When you start doing that and then you take a 215, 20-pound running back and and run at them. Eventually, it's going to wear them out. Now, we hope that they wear out a little quicker than they did, but they did. They wore out, and they got tired of tackling him, and because it's usually the same kid that has to tackle him on either side, and so they did. They got tired of tackling him, and just stopped putting a body on him and started going at his feet, and he was able to fall for 2 or 3 extra yards every time, and everybody looks at a 3-yard play for us as bad, and even as coaches sometimes you're like, come on guys, but to be honest, that's our offense, and when you play good people, you have to live with 3 yards, and that's a good thing.
We'll take a quick timeout and we'll hear from Douglas Propane.
We had a little leak. We kept smelling, my wife and I kept smelling gas, and we walked into the house. Called my plumber, and he said, well, you need to call your propane company because they handle that. So I gave Douglas a call. They immediately sent Barry out, and Barry brought out some sophisticated little devices to check for if there was any gas in the house. And sure enough, he found 2 places. He tightened those up, which was really the plumber's responsibility anyway. He installed those. But they got that fixed up. Since then, we haven't had any problems at all. So I just enjoy doing business with them because they were here when they said they would be here, and they've done everything they said they would do. So it was a pleasure doing business with them.
Coach, somewhat of I don't know whether it's a quarterback controversy or not, but a good thing. Mason Riggs has played real well in the absence of Brandon while he's been hurt. What's the status on that quarterback situation?
Oh, Brandon will actually suit out. He didn't even suit out last game. He had a little shoulder injury from the Calsburg game, and Mason stepped in, done a great job. There's no controversy. We're going to suit him out this week, but he's not. With a quarterback, you want to make sure your quarterback's healthy, especially doing what we do, and because of the timing of everything. You don't want to put yourself in a situation that he could, take one shot and go down and us not having the rest of the game, because whoever the quarterback is going to take most of the snaps during the week. And so, Mason will start and be there, and he's done a great job. I mean, for a kid to come in, a sophomore like that, to come in and take the snaps and run the way he does, and, he's done a much better job of hanging on to the football, and he's tough to tackle. So, there's no controversy. Mason will start for us, and, Brandon will be there, but, he's going to be limited doing other things too, just because of his injury.
This is usually the period when you go to East Texas, start playing great athletes, at least in Howe's history, having seen it for about 30 years. Howe's kids generally don't fare well up against those great East Texas athletes, so this is the time that Howe usually exits. However, your offense and the way it's designed and your schemes, even on defense, it appears that has leveled the playing field.
It has. You go back 2 years to Hughes Springs, which is now in our division. It's they're going to have some kids that are faster than us. Jefferson's probably got 6 kids that none of us could catch. But the offense levels the playing field. Number one, you keep everything inside the hash, and instead of the ball going sideways, it's going north and south. And so you take it completely out. You take speed completely out of the ball game until you break one. And usually faster teams keep us from breaking it, like Pottsboroughs and Gunners and stuff that have some fast kids in the secondary. They can keep us from breaking them, but at the same time, they have a lot of times have a tough time stopping us until we're 4 yards down the field. Defensively, we've gotten used to it, and I think the better teams we have played, we've gotten used to it. We go out to East Texas. We beat Hughes Springs 2 years ago. We played West Rusk. And West Russ, I didn't feel like beat us with their speed. They beat us up front. Their offensive and defensive line were some pretty big kids, some pretty strong kids, and they just kind of overpowered us up front. I didn't feel like the speed played so much of a part of that as the size and strength. So, you worry about the speed, of course, as every coach will. But the way our kids play and the way they hit, and the way our offense does some things. You kind of level that playing field, but at the same time, our kids are ready. They know what to expect. We've seen teams just like them, and no, you don't want to let the kid turn the corner and run. But there's, 9 out of 10 teams that played during the regular season, you didn't want that to happen either. So, it's not much different other than they're out in East Texas and we're not.
Jefferson, what do we expect to see from them offensively and defensively?
Well, offense will be in the spread, and they're going to spread you out. Most of the time they spread you out to run it. But they throw the ball half the time and run the ball half the time. So, they do a good job of making sure they're always very equal in those two things. So it puts you in a bind defensively. You don't know whether, put everybody in the box or get everybody out of the box. But, defensively they run a 4-3. And, of course, people do different things against us just by what we run. So, what to expect from them defensively is kind of up in the air a little bit. But, up front, I think we got to win those battles. And, to push the ball into the secondary. I want their secondary kids to have to tackle Tyler and Jaden and Riggs and them. And I think when that happens, we're going to have we got the advantage, but we need to get that ball there. And then, on defense, we just can't let them out. We got to contain them and not let them, turn the corner on us.
You've been listening to the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Coaches Show with Zach Hudson.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Welcome back to Lindale Eagle Stadium. Monty Walker along with Michael Mosier. Let's go over the starting lineups for Howe on offense. We don't know who's going to start where yet, but we'll go ahead and give you the starting lineup. Howe's doing their school song you can hear across the way. The starters for Howe, a wide receiver, Ty Harvey, 6 catches, 133 yards on the season, 1 touchdown. The left tackle, Tim Helpenstell. The left guard, Connor Jackson. And the center, Chase Harvey. The right guard, Tanner Hartsfield. The right tackle, Clay Marshall. And the big tight end, Matthew Griffin, senior, 6'3", 295 pounds. The quarterback tonight, Mason Riggs, not Brandon Wall. Riggs on the season, 1 completion for 1 pass. He's 1 out of 1. That's 1,000% passer right there.
There you go.
What Riggs does bring, however, is the great rushing ability. 52 carries, 508 yards, 9.77 per carry. Of course, he had the big 88-yarder versus Caddo Mills. Riggs, most of that came as a slot back, but he's playing quarterback tonight, and last week had the huge 33-yard run early in the game to bust out that first scoring drive. Jaden Matthews in the backfield, 201 carries, 1,248 yards on the season, 14 touchdowns. Tyler Grisham, the workhorse running back, 175 carries, 1,008 yards, 20 touchdowns. So Matthews averages 6.21 per carry, and Grisham averages 5.76 per carry. But Brent Masters, the slot back, averages 7.39 per carry. He has 96 carries and 709 yards on the season. Only 4 touchdowns, but he missed about 3 games there in the middle part of the season due to his dislocated shoulder. The kicker, Bryce Honecker, 5 out of 6 on field goals so far this year, longest of 37 yards. He's made 40 of 41 extra points, almost automatic. And we think his range tonight will be somewhere around 45 to 50, but we'll have to check the wind. There is a pretty good wind tonight, but the flag is not up yet, so we don't know which way it's blowing inside the stadium. We'll get back to that. The punter tonight, Jaden Matthews, should he have to punt. Michael, give us the Jefferson Bulldogs defense.
In Cleveland Williams, nose guard Alawan Rice, tackle Damian Hines, Viper Taylor Smith, the backers Tanner Murphy, Jordan Randall, Josh Kellogg, cornerback D Black, strong safety Kiefer Luster, free safety D Mitchell, and corner Maurice Rudd.
Watch out for the cornerback D Black. He is a freshman, but he is an amazing athlete. So D Black, keep your eye on him tonight, the cornerback. However, hopefully the Bulldogs aren't passing and he doesn't have to, worry about much of that. On defense for the Howe Bulldogs, the right defensive end, Cameron Blessai. The left defensive end, Mike Helpenstell. The nose guard, Zach Daniels. We'll get into that because this whole thing could determine or could rest on Zach Daniels and how well he plays nose guard. We will get into that in just a little bit. The linebackers, J.P. Queen, Andrew Griffin, Tanner Hartsfield, and Tyler Grisham. However, Tyler may or may not play a whole lot of defense. It could be Jaden Matthews, who has been playing the majority of the time in that linebacker position. Cooper Akins and Brennan Ross, the cornerbacks, and the safeties, Ty Harvey and Seth Siebel. Kick returners will probably be Mason Riggs, Jaden Matthews, and we'll just have to check and see whether Wall will be in there or not. Still a little bit gimpy, but Riggs doing the duty at quarterback tonight. And if we see a punt return, more than likely it'll be Andrew Griffin. Let's see the offense for you, Michael.
Rocky Cunningham, Alawan Rice, Todd Pulver, Dylan Pulver, Jaron Kelly, T.Q. Jackson, Cleveland Williams, Kiefer Luster, Maurice Rice, Trey Hodge, Damian Hines, and Taylor Smith.
Okay, so Damian Hines is their stud running back, and you'll hear his name all night. Hines will be with Trey Hodge in shotgun formation most of the time. Hodge will be back in shotgun. Hines will stand a little bit to his right or left. If it's up a little bit, if Hines is up a little bit, that means they throw the football. If Hines is back behind Hodge a little bit, they're going to be running the football. So you can kind of count on what they're going to do based on how they line up. It'll be Hines and Hodge all night long. And also the big receiver, T.Q. Jackson. He is an enormous receiver, 1,079 yards receiving this year, averaging 28 per catch, 11 touchdowns. So T.Q. Jackson will be one of their weapons on offense. He's kind of their Des Bryant, so to speak. And Damian Hines is their Zeke Elliott, so to speak. And Trey Hodge is their Dak?
There you go.
Is it Dak?
Dak.
It's Dak.
It is.
All right, that's good. All right. So let's get back to Zach Daniels and possibly even Clay Marshall, whoever's playing the nose guard position tonight, because that is a key to this football game. Even the head coach for Jefferson, Antwain Jimerson, noted in the Marshall newspaper that if their center, which is Todd Pulver, can handle Zach Daniels or the nose guard, whoever's playing nose guard, if he can handle that individual one-on-one, then that opens up a situation where they can pull their guards to get on the Howe linebackers. And if they're able to do that, and then the secondary has to adjust to the run. And that opens up a one-on-one situation with the cornerbacks and their receivers and the slots. So that's how it gets really dangerous in a hurry. If Zach Daniels can draw double coverage from his nose guard position, if they can force one of the guards to have to help out on Zach Daniels, Howe is going to have a much easier time tonight. Here comes Jefferson. They're in all white tonight. White pants, white jerseys, and maroon helmets with the Bulldog logo on it. And we are, even though Howe is the home team and we are in the press box is on the visiting side. So it's kind of odd. I don't know that I've ever had this situation where the home team is on the opposite side. The press box is on the opposite side. So, but that's where we are tonight. So you will hear, right now you're hearing the Jefferson Bulldog Band, which is right in front of our crowd mic. I mean, directly in front of our crowd mic. So across the way, here come the Howe Bulldogs from the far side.
The Howe Bulldogs come out in black tops, the home team, black helmets, and white pants, exactly like a week ago. You don't see this combination from Howe a lot, but in the playoffs, that appears to be the favorite matchup of uniforms. Now, we've got a situation where the scoreboard's in the very, very far corner. It's going to be very hard to see for us tonight, but we will make sure we give you everything we have. But I think we're ready for the national anthem tonight, and we'll give that to you right now.
Please turn your attention to the east end of the stadium as the Howe High School Band plays our national anthem.
And it is playoff time in Lindale, Texas. Michael Mosier, as this field runs east and west. Now the flag is blowing. We can barely see the flag, but it appears to be a cross breeze from north to south across the field here. But the if there's any advantage wind-wise, it'll be towards the east end zone, to our right. So the advantage as far as Honecker or any kicker is going to want to kick it east to the right, to our right. So the captains are out on the field, and they're at midfield. Tanner Murphy, along with Damian Hines and Maurice Rudd. And I can't catch the last individual, I believe.
Looks like Alawan Rice.
Okay.
Looks like
that
number
makes
55.
Sense. That makes sense. For Howe, it's going to be Andrew Griffin, Tyler Grisham. I think that's Hartsfield. It is. And Cooper Akins. So Jefferson has won the toss, and they have elected to defer to the second half. So Howe, again for the second time, will start with the ball first, just as a week ago. Now, Howe loves to defer. They love to win the toss and defer. But the Bulldogs of Howe will start off on offense tonight, barring something crazy. Both teams are the Bulldogs, so we will not tell you the Bulldogs first down or the Bulldogs first and 10. We will make sure you know who
say
has
Jefferson
the ball.
Or Howe.
So here comes the return team, and it will be Brandon Wall and not Mason Riggs deep. And it looks like Jaden Matthews and Andrew Griffin. Now, Matthews and Griffin will stand about the 20. Wall at about the 15. Now Wall comes up. Jefferson is hooping and hollering as they're about to boot this one away. It'll be Landon Fuquay, the right-footed kicker. And we are just about underway, and now we are. A pooch kick coming towards Matthews. He takes it at the 25-yard line, escapes one defender, and is going to be brought down at the 31. And Howe will start there from their own 31-yard line.
Eric Gibson for Jefferson made the tackle.
So here we go. We are now underway with this area championship playoff game from Lindale, Texas. It's Howe and Jefferson, and Howe has the ball first at their own 31-yard line. Moving left to right as Harvey has the ball. Riggs wants it, sends a man in motion, and this is Riggs on the keeper. He's got the 35. It's going to be brought down after a pretty nice gain up to the 38-yard line. Give him 7 yards and a nice gain there. They'll actually mark it at the 39.
D. Mitchell made the stop for Jefferson.
Riggs just took it and ran around the right end and gained 9. So here is everybody tight. Riggs back up under. And this is going to be a handoff. Grisham left side. Barrels over one defender. First down and more to the 50. And dragged down by 2 defenders at about the 47-yard line in Jefferson territory. It was Tanner Murphy who took a ride, needed a ticket on that Tyler Grisham bus ride.
Yeah, he met him at the line of scrimmage and drove him all the way back.
So the ball now at the 47-yard line in Jefferson territory. And here come the Bulldogs on 1st and 10 after that great run by Grisham. Riggs, handoff. Matthews for the first time tonight, squirting through, bouncing out to the 40, and inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. Nearly a 10-yard gain, and it is a 10-yard gain as they'll move the sticks. It's 1st and 10.
Cleveland Williams in on the stop for Jefferson.
Dale West, the offensive coordinator, felt real good about how they should be able to move the ball tonight. And here's Riggs going under center. And he dropped the football, has to fall on it. There's a fumble, and Riggs is barely able to get back on it at the 40-yard line. It was a bad exchange from the center to the quarterback. The ball fell on the turf. He dove for it, came up a little bit short, then had to dive for it again, barely got on it. They'll spot it at the 39, a loss of only 2.
Yeah, big pressure up front by Alawan Rice and Jared Kelly.
That's one of the very few losses that the Bulldogs have had in the past 3 quarters. Handoff, Masters coming from one side to the other. He's met at the line of scrimmage. And matter of fact, he's going to lose a yard to the 40.
Tanner Murphy come in on a linebacker blitz.
So, speak too soon. Here's Howe on back-to-back losses. Let me mark this as we are now in the first quarter. Let me change the scoreboard. And there we go. No score. We're just underway. Jefferson nearly jumps off sides. Here's a handoff to Matthews right side, fighting for yardage up to about the 34-yard line.
Alawan Rice.
Gain of 6, but still short of the first down. 9:26 and rolling here in the first, no score.
Alawan Rice brought him down.
So Howe taking their time now as Harvey's bringing in the play. It'll be 4th down and 7, and Howe appears to be going for it here on 4th and 7. Riggs goes under center, man in motion, and they're going to hand to Masters. Hits the gas pedal at the 30, at the 25, first down and more to the 15, to the 10. Knocked out of bounds at about the 9-yard line.
Flag on the play. Flag laying just before the 25.
So if it's a spot foul at the 25, that would be a first down. Let's check if it's a holding call downfield. If it's at the 25, we'll have to check. It appeared to be a first down. Now the first down is at about the 26-yard line. It's going to be personal foul against Howe.
Against Howe, stop block.
So that will push it back, and no first down for Howe. That's a big, huge penalty.
Looked like
huge.
Brandon Wall checked into the game.
So Wall probably, well, it looks like it will probably be the punt team here, as they're going to back this one up to the 41-yard line. Man, that's a
big
killer,
loss,
because
yes.
Masters was shot out of a cannon, had a first down. Matthews will punt here. From the 41-yard line, it's a high wobbly kick, and it will bounce at the 20, go straight up, and be killed at about the 17-yard line by Brandon Wall. So Howe takes
a good amount of time off the clock here with 8:48. And Jefferson will take over at their own. Where are they going to mark that, Michael?
Looks like about the
19-yard line. So here comes Jefferson, all spread out. Very much unlike Howe. And this is going to be Hodge, sends a man in motion. And a little early movement by Hines, but no flags. He's brought down right at about the line of scrimmage by J.P. Queen. A nice job by Queen to stay at home. And that'll bring up second down and long. So Clay Marshall is in at nose guard. Matt Griffin was a moment ago, our spotter Stephen Braswell says, but right now Clay Marshall at nose guard. So it's second down and 10. This is going to be a handoff to Hines for the first time tonight. He's got some room. They got 25 up to about the 30-yard line. So a first down for Jefferson.
Brennan Ross in for the Bulldogs, Howe Bulldogs.
So that's the first down as Jefferson will move it out to the 30. It'll be first and 10 with 8:04 and rolling here in the first quarter. No score, just underway. Howe drove down, but a penalty forced them to punt after they had already got a first down on a fourth down. And here's Hodge wanting to throw. Drops back 3 steps, and he does connect with his receiver. Breaks out of one tackler, and it's going to be T.Q. Jackson on the catch. And you'll see him a lot tonight. They'll move the ball up to about the 39-yard line.
Andrew Griffin and Seth Seabolt in on the stop.
A gain of 9 will bring up second down and 1. These high-powered offenses, the thing it's going to come down to is who's going to make the stops on defense. Hodge in shotgun, rolls out right, wanting to throw. Under pressure, heaves it out. It's going to be incomplete. There's a flag down at the 45-yard line. And we'll have to check and see what that is, as it's downfield about 15 yards past the first down marker. And we'll have to check. It appears to be against Jefferson, I believe. Yes, it is. It looks like it's going to be pass interference against the receiver, Maurice Rudd, the senior. Now, that's one other thing about this team. They're very, very young. Rudd is one of the very few seniors on the field. They are mostly freshmen and sophomores. So this will push the ball back to the 22-yard line. And here we go, second down at about 15. And this is Hodge rolling straight back, throwing the deep ball over the right side. It's going to be knocked down. A great play by Tanner Hartsfield, but another flag down.
Looked like it was offsides on Mike Heppenstall.
So a free play, and Hodge did the smart thing on knowing that it's a free play. Just air the ball out down the right side. So that will be offsides against Heppenstall and a 5-yard penalty, which is not a whole lot of damage. It'll bring up second down and 11.
7:05.
So the ball now at the, what is that, Michael? The 29?
29.
Ball's at the 29-yard line. Second down and 11 coming up. 7:05 on the clock. It has stopped because of the incomplete pass. Hodge in the gun with Hines next to him on his left. And this is going to be a handoff to Hines, met at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be brought down at the 30-yard line. A gain of 1 will bring up third and 10.
Tanner Hartsfield and Matt Griffin in on the stop. We look like we got Matt Griffin playing nose guard.
It is Griffin at the nose. And one thing we talked about is having to require a double team on that nose. Here's Hodge in the gun. Drops back 2 steps, looks near side. Now flushed out of the pocket, throws it on the run, and it's going to be incomplete. He just threw it away up to about the 45-yard line. And now Jefferson, for the first time tonight, is going to have to punt on their first possession. It was Cameron Blesseye who was right in Hodge's face, as Hodge just had to get rid of it. Great pressure there by Blesseye. And now it'll be Hines back to punt, who will stand at about his own 17-yard line. Andrew Griffin will stand at his own 39. A little bit of an into the wind, just a little bit. It's an end-over-end wobbly kick. Going to bounce at the 47-yard line and go out of bounds, and Howe will start from their own 42 on the second possession of the night for Howe. 6:21 on the clock. Here in the first quarter, no scores. Howe comes back on for the first time, or for the second time tonight, and starting at their own 42, and Landry Elvington will bring the play in here. A pretty nice crowd from Howe made this 2-hour trip as they try to fill up about halfway on the far side. Here's a handoff to Grisham, left side, breaks out of one tackle, fighting, surging forward into Jefferson territory to the 48-yard line.
Alawan Rice and Kevon Smith made the tackle.
Right at a 10-yard gain, and they're going to move the sticks. So it'll be 1st and 10 now from the 48 inside Jefferson territory. And Howe so far has moved through Jefferson really like warm butter, except for the bad snap, which set him back, and the costly penalty. Here's a handoff Grisham, again, right side, and this time not as much, but he will fall forward to about the 43-yard line. So a 5-yard gain there by Grisham will set up a 2nd down and 5.
Tanner Murphy and Alawan Rice in on the stop for the Jefferson Bulldogs.
5:32 and rolling here in the first quarter. Howe with the ball at the Jefferson 43-yard line. Everybody breaks out. Here's Masters in the slot. Briggs under center. And he's going to hand off right side Grisham. And he cuts through to the 35. Look out, 30. Jumps over defender and bowls over another one at the 25-yard line. That's Matthews on the carry.
D. Black made the stop.
That's the freshman, D. Black. And that'll spot the ball at the 25-yard line and a fresh set of downs for the Howe Bulldogs. Moving left to right here in the first quarter towards that east end zone. Briggs goes under center. Everybody tight this time. Masters in motion. Handoff Matthews again, left side. And he will surge forward. And a fumble. The ball's on the turf at the 19-yard line. And Jefferson says they have the football. And apparently they do. That's not good. That's something we have not seen a lot of from the Howe Bulldogs, and especially Jaden Matthews. He's not put the ball on the turf much this year. I don't remember any, but it does right there. So Howe, in their first 2 possessions, have shot themselves in the foot on a big penalty that would have gotten them a first down on a chop block. And on the second possession, Matthews fumbles after driving all the way down there. So opportunities being missed right here by Howe as Jefferson has the ball at their own 19. And this is going to be a Hodge racing up the middle for close to a first down, if not.
Andrew Griffin in on the stop. Zach Daniels is checked in as nose guard.
So they'll spot the ball at the, that's hard to see, 26-yard line, Michael?
Yes, sir.
So a 7-yard gain there by Hodge. Shotgun, Hodge. And this time the carry is going to go to a different running back who is very fast. That is Tyron Williams, and he will gain up to the 31-yard line. Gain of about 5 before he was brought down with 4:14 on the clock.
Andrew Griffin and Ty Harvey brought him down.
That'll be a first down for Jefferson, moving right to left. And they'll move the sticks, start the clock, and here we go.
Clay Marshall's checked in at nose guard.
Now the officials blow it dead here. And now I think we're ready to go. The clock has still been rolling this whole time. Now it's at 3:57. Here's a handoff near side. That's Williams again, and he's in traffic and in jail at the 31-yard line. Tanner Hartsfield makes the tackle. No gain on the play as that Black Plague defense steps up and makes a stop. Hartsfield, the heart and soul of that defense,
Not a vocal leader, as we heard, but leads by example, as he certainly did a week ago, making a touchdown-saving tackle at the 5-yard line just before the half. Tyler Grisham is in the game at the linebacker position. This is Hodge throwing it out right side. It's going to be caught and dropped. Incomplete, trying to hit Rudd on the outside on the right side, and that will be an incomplete pass. Hines comes back into play, and now Clay Marshall is checking out, and Matt Griffin is checking in. So a 3-man rotation going in and out here at nose guard. Hodge in the gun. Ball at the 31. And he drops back 3 steps, looks near side, looking across the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. Had Jackson wide open at the 40-yard line. Their receiver with over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns receiving just was missed, just over his head, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down for Jefferson. Wow, that was close. Wow. So here's Hines. That's a break. Hines will, another really end-over-end weird kick, goes out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. And Howe will take over there on their 3rd possession. No score, 3:09 on the clock. Now, Howe has had a lot of opportunities to score, really, because they've moved the ball at will down the field. Mistakes, penalties, and fumbles. It's really been a big penalty and a big fumble has turned Howe away from points so far on their first 2 possessions.
.309 on the clock.
Okay, they'll spot the ball at the 45-yard line. Howe zone 45. Riggs under center. Handoff. Matthews met at the line of scrimmage. Escapes that one defender. Falls forward for about a 2-yard gain up to the 48. They'll give it. Well, no, they will spot it at the 47. They're only going to give him 2 yards on that.
Jaron Kelly made the stop for Jefferson.
I like what Zach Hudson and Dale West did right there. Matthews had the fumble a moment ago. They went right back to him on the first play. Get it out of your system. Here we go. Riggs under center, man in motion. And this is going to be a handoff. Matthews again. Look out, 45. Makes a cut to the 40. Flag down to the 30. Brought down at the 28-yard line. 3 flags at about the 45-yard line.
Looks like we got Tyler Grisham on a hold.
You know, this is one of those games where so far Howe offensively can appear to do whatever they want, but mistakes are killing them. You can't make mistakes like this in area championship games and expect to survive.
No, you can't.
So instead of the 47-yard line, instead of the 29-yard line in Jefferson territory, they'll move it back to the 45. Wow. So now it's 2nd down and 10. And here's Masters in motion. Hand off to him again. Looking for a block from Matthews. And Masters cut it up just a little bit inside. If he'd have stayed outside and got around Matthews, it appears he had some running room. But he cut it up just a bit too quickly and is going to take it to the 47-yard line, which is a 3rd and about 8. That one, if he could have strung it out all the way down to the edge, might have had, a bigger corner to turn, but he chose to cut it up just a little bit too early.
Yeah, Maurice Rudd for Jefferson shut him off there.
So 3rd down and 8. Everybody tight. 2 receivers near side. Here's a handoff to Masters again. And this time he's met at midfield. So 4th down coming up at midfield. And again, opportunities were there. And a punt is going to come out. A punt team is going to come out. And Howe will bang this one away from their own 50.
Jaron Kelly and Cleveland Williams in on the stop.
So Matthews will go back deep to punt, standing at about his own 42-yard line. Snapping it from midfield. Matthews, right-footed punter, wobbly kick, going to be taken at the 21-yard line and brought down at the 25 by Seth Seabolt. And on a return was Williams, and he's down. TQ Williams, their stud receiver, is down for a moment at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, he took a pretty good shot from Seth.
So there's 58 seconds on the clock here in the first, and Jefferson's about to take the ball at their own 31-yard line, but they're checking on TQ Williams. While they're doing that, we're going to take our first time out of the night. We'll be back after this.
In this very football season, we will experience extreme heat followed by the changing of the leaves and finally feel the cold chill of the November rain. Life changes, and sometimes it changes too fast. When you lose a loved one, you need a place of comfort and trust. Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory of Van Alstyne will provide you with that care. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins invite you to talk to their caring staff. They take pride in their responsibility to lighten your burden as you take the first steps towards healing.
Well, TQ Jackson has now got up. I think I called him Williams a minute ago. Jackson has now jumped up, and he's kind of limping a little bit on his right ankle. Something not right with his right ankle, but it doesn't appear to be strangely serious as we're having to wipe off some condensation on this glass. It is getting rather warm in here tonight. We're not able to see real well at times. You would think a cold night like tonight wouldn't have that problem, but it's warm in here. Shotgun, and I'm full of hot air. Hodge wants to throw it. Whistles blow. Flag down at the 25-yard line as Stephen Braswell says it's a very small box with three fairly big guys in here.
Small people.
Small people
right.
in a large press box. Yeah.
There we go. Sounds better. Sounds better that way.
So they're going to back this one up to the 21 as it was a penalty on Jefferson.
Yes, sir. False start.
Well, that's a 10-yard mark off. Well, they're back to the – well, okay. All right, I had my yard markers mixed up. So there's now at the 21-yard line. And this is Hodge wanting to keep it around the right edge. Breaks out of a tackle up to the 29, now 30-yard line, now 31-yard line. A pretty good gain there on the quarterback keeper on the right edge. They'll spot it at the 31, a 10-yard gain for Hodge.
Mike Heppenstall made the stop for the Bulldogs.
Matt Griffin into the game at nose guard for the moment. Again, the Bulldogs are rotating in and out with Clay Marshall, Matt Griffin, and Zach Daniels. 2 men in the backfield, three receivers, two up top, one at the bottom. Shotgun for Hodge. Hines stands next to him, and now they stop. They look over, try to get the signal from the offensive coordinator, who is Josh Keith. And this is going to be a handoff to Hines. Exploding out of the backfield, but only gains enough to the 34-yard line, short of the first down by about a yard.
J.P. Queen and Tanner Hartsfield in on the stop.
They're going to spot the ball at the 33. Need to get to the 35 for the first. And I would imagine you get a heavy dose of Damian Hines right here on third down, needing 2 yards. That's going to be the end of the first quarter. No score here at Lindale Eagle Stadium. We'll be back after this.
Do you love coffee? Wish there was a local coffee shop to study, work, and get the best coffee drinks and baked goods in Texas? Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne is your dream come true. Carrie's Coffee Company serves the highest quality organic coffee and espresso drinks like cafe mocha, caramel macchiato, and cappuccino, plus iced coffee frappes with your favorite flavor. Visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne next to the post office, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to noon, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to noon.
Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Welcome back as it's 3rd and 2, a long 2 for Jefferson. And Hodge is going to keep it up the middle, and he's going to have the first down at the 38-yard line. Just enough. He got just a yard enough to move the sticks.
Cameron Bless in on the stop.
They'll spot it actually at the 37. And that's the fourth play of the drive for Jefferson. Moving left to right now as we enter the second quarter. 11:42 on the clock. And again, Howe in black tops, white pants. Jefferson in all white. Here's a sling out. Intercepted at the 45-yard line. Seth Siebold picks it off. And that's a break Howe needed. Now in Jefferson territory at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that was Seth jumped that route, and that was a good pick.
Boy, the Bulldogs the Howe Bulldogs needed that one desperately. And Howe should have at least 14 points, you would think, at this point in the game. But again, penalties. One big penalty and a fumble cost them 2 possessions. And then another huge penalty forced another punt. So Howe's got to see this one through. Man in motion, Masters going the other way, handoff Grisham. Breaks through a couple of defenders on his way to a 10-yard pickup to the 36-yard line.
Cleveland Williams made the stop for Jefferson.
I may have called it prematurely there on the first down. They're spotting him at the 33, a yard short of the first. Riggs under center, handoff again, Grisham over right side, comes left now, first down to the 26-yard line.
Cleveland Williams again in on the stop for Jefferson.
So Howe, who has done this all night, just move through the Jefferson defense like warm butter on a biscuit. But there's been penalties and fumbles. You're going to have to see it through. Here we go, 1st and 10. Moving right to left. 26 yards away from their first points. Here's Grisham. Matthews rather, and he'll be met at the line of scrimmage. Not much doing there. They'll mark it at the 26-yard line. Maybe a gain of a foot.
Met hard at the line of scrimmage by Cleveland Williams.
So 10:35 on the clock and rolling here in the second quarter. No score from Lindale. Elvington will bring the play in. Again, a pretty nice crowd from Howe. We'd love to see it full over there, but they are big stands. Riggs under center, Masters in motion, and this is going to be a handoff to Matthews, and didn't fool Jefferson on that one. A gain of 1. Brings up 3rd and long.
Alawan Rice and Jaron Kelly get on the stop.
Ball at the 25-yard line. It's 3rd and 8. Right now, it would be a 42-yard field goal by Honecker towards the west end zone. Riggs, man in motion is Masters, and this is going to be a handoff. Grisham, shot out of a cannon inside the 20 to the about the 19-yard line. Short of a first down, but you know what's coming. It's going to be 4th and about 3. And the Riverboat Gambler didn't even think about it. 2 men in the backfield. Riggs on 4th and 2 is going to hand off to Tyler Grisham going over right side. Nope. Grisham somehow broke out of it to the 6-yard line. How in the world did that happen?
I'm not sure. Dean Mitchell made the stop. It was a great block by Matt Griffin on the outside edge.
They'll mark it at the 7. Grisham, I thought, was met and dropped. Somehow kept his feet, kept going around the edge. If you saw Channel 12's highlights last week, it was very similar to that. Lowered his shoulders, almost was down, but kept going. So it's 1st and goal here from the 7. Riggs goes under center. 2 men in the backfield. Man in motion is Masters, and Riggs, handoff. Matthews, right side, nope. Riggs kept the ball that time, and he's going to gain maybe 1, maybe 2 to the 5-yard line. And it looks like an injured player is down for Jefferson. We will take a timeout. We will be back right after this.
Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only.
Where you get great food and big smiles. And a little message for our Howe Bulldog football players. Go Bulldogs, fight Bulldogs, win, win, win. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Well, it's Leon Rice who is down, but he's coming off the field now on that. He's got a banged up right ankle possibly. Checking into the game is Brandon Malden, the senior. and that is the right defensive tackle position. So we'll see what Howe does here to exploit that injury. Rice, a really good player, senior defensive lineman. And we'll see what Dale West chooses to do here. Elvington brings the play in. 8:22 and rolling here on the clock. Howe has not scored yet, but trying to punch it in right here. Second down and goal from the 5. Handoff, Grisham, left side, and he's going to make his way up to about the 2 and be pushed back. Third down and goal coming up.
Tanner Murphy in on the stop along with Damian Hines.
They'll spot it at the 2.5. And here come the Dogs on third and goal. Everybody in the box. 2 men in the backfield. Riggs under center. Handoff. Grisham fighting. He is in, and it's touchdown time in Texas. That was a serious right hook from Grisham to Jefferson with 7:38 left to go in the second. And Howe strikes first blood in this area championship. So here comes Honaker on for the PAT. Ross to hold. The snap's good. It's on the tee. The kick is up. It's high, and it is good. Howe leads 7-0 here at Lindale over Jefferson. Back in a moment.
If you haven't been to downtown Howe lately, you might be surprised. All the buildings are full, including the unique retail experiences of Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium. Located at 107 and 109 East Haining Street, the two antique and gift shops offer unique items that are rarely available in the Howe area, but with Howe area prices. Come and enjoy this trip back in time to the Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium, open noon to 8, Thursdays through Saturday. Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium.
Tired of paying for channels you don't watch? Cabinet Home Theater and Dish got you covered. The new Flex Pack lets you customize your own package. For $39.99 per month, the Flex Pack includes 50 popular channels plus an additional channel pack of your choice. You can choose from locals, news, kids, and sports. Give us a call, 903-892-3499, or go to CavenderTV.com. You can get the Hopper 3 DVR for only $10 a month more. Give us a call.
7-0, Howe in the lead with 7:38 on the clock left in the second quarter. It was a 9-play drive, took 58 yards and 3 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock. Tyler Grisham scored on a 2-yard touchdown, and Honaker's going to pooch this one to the right side. Going to be taken at about the 35, looking up near field. Lots of room across midfield, and Jefferson's going to start in Howe territory at the 48-yard line. You know, we saw a week ago Honaker bang it in the end zone about 5 yards deep on a much-needed deep kick. And Zach Hudson decides not ready for that apparently at this moment, as Jefferson, it would be into the wind a little bit, but here comes Jefferson on the field, spreading it out with Rudd to the near side and Luster in the slot. And it's going to be a handoff to Hines. No gain there. Slipped down a little bit after he got the hand. And it'll be maybe a yard, possibly up to the 47-yard line.
Cameron Blesseye in on the stop.
Now, Jefferson has some tremendous-looking athletes. Zach Daniels into the game at nose guard. And two receivers up top, one at the bottom. And this is going to be a handoff to Hines, who runs straight up the middle, finally brought down by Queen at about the 42-yard line, short of the first down by about 5, 6:55 on the clock.
Clay Marshall checked in at nose guard.
I'm not sure what's more tiring, running off the field, being out there, or just running back on and off the field.
Right.
So here is 3rd and 4, 6:41 on the clock. Shotgun formation. Hodge wants it now. They stop. They look over to the near side to offensive coordinator Josh Keith. And they flash a bunch of signs, and now they know what they have. Two receivers near side, one up top. Moving left to right, Jefferson looking that way is going to be caught by their stud receiver, TQ Jackson, and it'll be enough for a first down, but Seth Seabolt brings him down at the 36-yard line. About a 6-yard gain there for Jackson, and that'll move the sticks with 6:18 on the clock.
Look at officials are going to get tired of winding his arm.
Getting tired of wiping his glass. Hodge in the gun on 1st and 10. Handoff Hines. Sprinting towards the near sideline. He's got the 35. Being drugged down by Hartsfield, but he breaks that tackle, and a first down by Hines at about the 22-yard line.
Brought down by Brennan Ross after a good game.
14-yard gain for Hines if they spot it at the 22, and they spot it at about the 24. So again, Howe in the lead, 7-0. Had lots of opportunities to have a much bigger lead than 7, but that's what they have right now. 2 receivers up top, 1 at the bottom is Rudd. Hodge in shotgun formation, and he's going to keep it around the right edge. He's got some room to the 20, to the 15, escapes at 10, to the 5, touchdown Jefferson. As Hodge keeps it for a 24-yard touchdown around the right edge with 5:29 on the clock. However, it looks like Matthews is down.
Yeah, Matthews coming off a block here on the outside, on the back side. He's down.
So a 24-yard touchdown for the quarterback, Trey Hodge. And Hodge is a sophomore. Doesn't look like a sophomore. But really, the worst thing that happened right now is Matthews is still down. And he is being attended to by Ricky Ake, who is in his 28th year as the athletic trainer here at Howe. Andrew Griffin taking a knee right by Matthews. Everybody else is pretty far away, but Griffin is not leaving. He's just right by his side, not leaving. We probably need to take a timeout here, because this looks like it might be an extended timeout as the Ake guys are still out there tending to Jaden Matthews. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
Think back to the best fried pies you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. Sweetie Pies has handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 972-821-1508. You must try Sweetie Pie's signature fried pie, Sawdust. I'm not even kidding.
What's the bad thing in small school, high school football when your star running back is also playing outside linebacker? Things like that happen, and he is being carried off the field. No pressure on his leg at all. And here's the kick. It's going to be a low line drive kick. It looked like a bad snap. They got it on the tee, and the kick is good. Jefferson ties the game at 7 with 5:29 on the clock. Back in a moment.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
The type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask.
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
When people come here, it's something they can be proud of.
A word from Douglas Propane.
We had received a call from Cable One back when Howe had the tornado come through. Their tower site back on the hill runs a propane backup generator. My service staff got the call late in the afternoon. We tried to get up there and get the gas to it. The ground was too soft for our bobtail to get back there, so we put it in four-wheel drive, and we actually took 100-pound cylinders and transferred them into the larger tank to get them through until we could get the larger truck back there.
Now Jefferson will kick off to Howe after the touchdown. It was a 5-play, 48-yard drive and ties the game at 7 here with 5:29 on the clock. But the most pressing bit of news is not the touchdown necessarily. but it's the injury to Jaden Matthews, who put no weight on his leg. And there's going to be a kick that goes in and out of the end zone for a touchback. Howe will start at their own 25-yard line with 5:29 on the clock. So all of a sudden, Howe is pressed into the situation where Matthews is out. And we'll have to check and see, is it Cade Courtney? Who's it going to be?
Cade Courtney just brought the play in, so we'll see.
Andrew Griffin may get some time. And Dylan Moreau may get some time. And it appears to be Andrew Griffin. As Riggs sends a man in motion, and it's going to be a handoff. Griffin, right side, look out. He's got some room. Look out, 40 to the 45, 50. Kiss him goodbye. Nobody's going to catch him. See you later, Andrew Griffin. 75 yards. No flags. And a 6-point lead.
Great job, Andrew.
You wondered who would take Matthews' place. There you have it. Andrew Griffin.
Yeah, great job, Andrew. Great job, offensive line. Actually, the offensive line got him. He come right off the center.
So here's Honecker on for the PAT. He'll step it off. Ross is on a knee waiting for the snap. And it's a good one. It's on the tee. The kick is up. A good kick, and it is good. Howe with a 7-point lead. Just like that, lead 14-7 with 5:17 on the clock. We'll be back right after this.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
How are you supposed to control the clock, Dale West, when you have a one-play 75-yard drive that takes 12 seconds off the clock? I guess that's okay, huh?
That's right.
So Honecker, is he going to squib it again? Another squib. It's going to be taken by Rudd again. No. And another great return to the same spot, the 48-yard line.
Peyton Reagan brought him down.
And on the return,
Tyler Smith.
Is that who that is?
Yes, sir.
Taylor Smith.
I'm sorry.
So they'll spot the ball at the 48 after a pretty good return there by Jefferson and Smith. There's 5:09 on the clock here before the half. And starting on the plus side of the field is Jefferson, moving left to right here. With everybody spread out, two receivers to the near side, one up top, handoff Hines coming near side. Got a good block. Escapes the 45, he's got the 40, cuts it up inside, first down to the 34-yard line.
Cooper Aiken made the stop for the Howe Bulldogs.
And they'll spot it at the, where are they spotting that ball? The 33. So a 15-yard gain by Hines. And a flag? No. And shotgun for Hodge. And he's going to keep it around the right edge. He scored on this a moment ago. Gets a great block by Hines. Steps up to the middle. Is going to be brought down by J.P. Queen at about the 22-yard line. A gang tackle. Now everybody swarms there. It's going to be another first down, however, for Jefferson at the 22. So a pickup of about 11 there for Hodge. We have to crack that door on the outside. So Hodge now with a new set of downs, 4:21 on the clock. And this is going to be Hines on the carry, going left side. And he's met and brought down at about the 21. Gain of 1. It was a long way to go for 1, maybe 2 yards. Andrew Griffin makes the stop. And they'll spot it right about the 20. So a gain of 2 officially for Hines.
When we leave tonight, Lindale may pay you for cleaning their windows.
Yeah, it's been doing that all night. It's like Daniel's son. I've been waxing on and waxing off all night. 2 receivers up top, 1 at the bottom. Man in motion, look out here. Handoff to that near side receiver. And this is going to be a great play. Not fooling J.P. Queen. And also right there was Ty Harvey, who made a great stop going lateral down the line and forced the receiver who came in motion, and I thought that was Luster. But regardless, it's going to be no gain. And it was not. It was Kevon Smith. So ball now still at the 20-yard line. And this is going to be Hodge trying to keep it around the right edge again, in traffic this time. Going to be brought down for a loss. Maybe a yard at the 21-yard line, maybe 22-yard line. Harvey and Grisham combine on the stop, and that's going to bring up a 4th down situation for the Jefferson Bulldogs with 2:52 and rolling here in the second quarter. Not sure about their kicking situation. It would be around a 40-yard field goal, but they're not going to kick it on 4th and what appears to be 1. They will go for it. Hodge in shotgun formation. Hines to his left. They want to throw the football out. It's going to be caught and a hook and lateral. It's a fumble, and Hines picks it up. It's going to be down. The ball is down at about the 15, but it appears that Jefferson recovered the fumble, as it was supposed to be a hook and ladder. And Howe has the football. Howe recovered the football. So Braswell tells us that it was Ty Harvey that recovered it. What it was a hook and ladder. And the receiver, Jackson, made the catch, immediately tried to pitch it to Hines, the running back, who had floated out there, but he made a bad pitch. The ball fell on the turf, and apparently Harvey recovered it. So here's Howe with 2:20 on the clock from their own 15-yard line. And this will be Griffin on the carry. And a pretty nice gain there of about 9 yards up to the 24-yard line.
Tanner Murphy made the stop for Jefferson.
So let me hook and ladder. Let me write my notes here. Look at hook and ladder fumble. And this is going to be a handoff up the middle. And that's going to be Masters on the carry. He'll have a first down up to the 35-yard line. And Howe now in a hurry.
D. Mitchell made the stop.
A minute 35 on the clock. Here's Grisham. Left side, not much doing there up to the 37-yard line. A minute 45 on the clock, rather. As second down is coming up. Third, let's see. Ball at the 37-yard line, moving right to left. This is going to be a handoff. First man through, Griffin. Not much doing there. Got back to the line of scrimmage up to the 38-yard line.
Alawan Rice back in the game.
So Elvington is going to check out. Hudson deciding not to use any of his 3 timeouts here. A $1:09 on the clock. Elvington, and it's rolling. We're now at a $1:02. Elvington brings the play in. Here come the Dogs up to the line of scrimmage. Riggs is going to hand off. Grisham, left side, puts his left hand on Tanner Hartsfield, almost pushes him down on his way to a first down run up to the 47-yard line. He actually put his left hand on Hartsfield and pushed him down. Riggs, handoff, right side, and that's going to be Andrew Griffin up to midfield to the 50. And now a timeout has been called. Howe will take their first timeout of the half. We'll be back right after this.
In this very football season, we will experience extreme heat followed by the changing of the leaves and finally feel the cold chill of the November rain. Life changes, and sometimes it changes too fast. When you lose a loved one, you need a place of comfort and trust. Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory of Van Alstyne will provide you with that care.
Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins invite you to talk to their caring staff. They take pride in their responsibility to lighten your burden as you take the first steps towards healing.
Do you love coffee? Wish there was a local coffee shop to study, work, and get the best coffee drinks and baked goods in Texas? Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne is your dream come true. Carrie's Coffee Company serves the highest quality organic coffee and espresso drinks like cafe mocha, caramel macchiato, and cappuccino, plus iced coffee frappes with your favorite flavor. Visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne next to the post office, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to noon, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to noon.
Welcome back. It's Howe's back on the field. 39 seconds on the clock. At midfield. Riggs goes under center. Masters in motion. He's going to get the carry. He gets a great block from Griffin. And then he's knocked down hard as Masters tried to jump over a defender. He was smashed by Rice, who's back into the game, obviously. No gain on the play. And the ball is at the 50. It looked like a great hit only because Masters was in the air trying to jump over a defender. I mean, it was a great hit, but it looked worse than what it really was. And this is going to be Masters coming on the carry on the near side again. He's got a seam up to the 35 and down right there. There's 8 seconds on the clock. Howe calls their second timeout as Masters got about a 15-yard run there right over the left tackle and cut it up the left hash. And Stephen Braswell is calling for the halfback pass here to end the half. And that's a pretty good idea there. It's not a bad idea. We saw the halfback pass from Tyler Grisham a few weeks back against Callisburg. And we'll, with Matthews out of the game, that may limit you a little bit with Andrew Griffin throwing the football, because we haven't seen Matthews throw the football. We understand there might be a possibility that Matthews would have thrown the football at some point this season. We have not seen it. But we have seen the Grisham to Harvey connection against Callisburg, and this would be a good time for something like that. So here comes Chase Harvey and the rest of the Bulldogs out on the field. 8.1 seconds left to go in the half. Howe leading 14-7. Riggs goes under center. Wall goes in motion, and look at this. Stephen Braswell, he throws it up. It's a jump ball, and Harvey is going to come down with it at the 12-yard line. There is 1.1 second on the clock, and Howe's going to have a chance here at the 12-yard line. Do you kick it? I know Ken Honeker's in London, the father of Bryce Honeker, and he's probably chomping at the bit, waiting on us to say Honeker's going to kick it. The ball's on the right hash. There's 1.1 second on the clock. And I don't see Honeker.
Yep, there he is.
Come on, let me set it up at least. Come on, drama here.
What? It was me. I'm sorry. I busted it.
No, Honeker will come on the field. It appears that Honeker will come out there. Now, ball's at the 12, so you would imagine that would be about a 29. Let's see where he sets it. Maybe a 30, right at the 30. So a 30-yard field goal attempt by Honeker towards the west end zone. To our left from our vantage point. Waiting on the snap. Ross on a knee. Snap's good. It's on the tee. The kick is up. It's high. It's long. It is good. Splits the uprights. And Howe extends the lead 17-7 as Honeker is ice. And that ends the half. The Howe Bulldogs will take it into the half 17-7 here at the area championship playoff game with Jefferson and Lindale. We'll be back right after this.
Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860.
Abby's Restaurant.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only.
Where you get great food and big smiles, and a little message for our Howe Bulldog football players. Go Bulldogs, fight Bulldogs, win, win, win. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
If you haven't been to downtown Howe lately, you might be surprised. All the buildings are full, including the unique retail experiences of Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium. Located at 107 and 109 East Haining Street, the two antique and gift shops offer unique items that are rarely available in the Howe area, but with Howe area prices. Come and enjoy this trip back in time to the Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium, open noon to 8, Thursdays through Saturday. Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium.
What is Cabinet Home Theater? Do we only do those big fancy media rooms? Heck no. We started in 1978 installing TV antennas. Guess what? We still do and get over 40 Dallas channels that way for our customers. Along the way, we had requests to install speakers, mount TVs, or install dish, so now we do it all. From hooking up a TV with a soundbar to whole house audio with all the bells and whistles. Visit CabinerHT.com to see all we have to offer or call 903-892-3499.
Think back to the best fried pies you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. Sweetie Pies has handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 972-821-1508. You must try Sweetie Pie's signature fried pie, Sawdust. I'm not even kidding.
Michael Mosier. Let's recap this first half. How about it?
There you go.
Howe leads 17-7. We are at the half. The Jefferson band apparently is about to play, so we'll recap this real quick and let you listen to that. The first half, Howe took the ball at the Al actually lost the coin toss. Jefferson won it. Wanted Howe to have the ball first so they could have it here coming up to start this second half. Howe started at their own 31-yard line, drove right through Jefferson like warm butter on a biscuit. On a fourth down play, picked up a first down. However, there was a chop block, which caused Howe to have to punt on their first possession instead of picking up that first down and moving on towards the end zone. Jefferson, on their first possession, started at the 19-yard line. They had to punt. Howe got the ball back with 6:21 in the second quarter, drove it down the field quickly. However, Jaden Matthews fumbled for one of the very few times in 2016. So Jefferson took the ball at their own 19-yard line and drove all the way down to the 31 where they had to punt again, or drove up to the 31. So not much going on in the first couple of series. Howe got the ball back at their own 45-yard line with 3:09 left to go in the first. They had to punt again. Another big penalty there. So Jefferson takes the ball with 58 seconds left to go in the first quarter at their own 21-yard line. 4 plays later, Seth Siebel picks it off. And Howe set up in great shape at the 42-yard line. And with 11:29 left to go in the second quarter, it was a 9-play, 58-yard drive that was capped off by a 2-yard touchdown by Tyler Grisham, which was, Michael Mosier, his 21st of the year. And Howe led 7-0 with 7:38 on the clock, driving 3 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock. Jefferson took the ball with 7:31 on the clock, started at the Howe 48, and it ended on a 24-yard touchdown by Trey Hodge, the quarterback keeper around the right edge. That capped off a 5-play, 48-yard drive, tied the game at 7 with 5:29 left to go before the half. And on that play, Matthews was injured and presumably will not return the way it looks. So we don't know, but Matthews was injured on the play, put no weight on his legs as he went off the field. Howe took the ball at their own 25-yard line, wondering who in the world was going to take Matthews' place in the backfield after he was injured there. It turned out to be none other than Andrew Griffin. And Griffin, on the very first play of the drive, went 75 yards for the score.
one play, 75 yards. Howe regained the lead 14-7 with 5:17 off the clock. Took only 12 off the clock. So Jefferson takes the ball back with 5:09 left to go before the half from the Howe 48-yard line after the second pooch kick by Honaker. Drove down to the 22-yard line where Hodge hit his star receiver TQ Jackson, who tried to hook and ladder it back to Hines out of the backfield. The ball went on the turf and was recovered by Harvey.
Harvey, yes, sir.
Recovered by Harvey. That gave Howe the ball back at the Jefferson, at their own 15-yard line with 2:20 left to go before the half. And just kept driving and kept driving and kept driving. Got all the way down to the 12-yard line. After a nice halfback pass, Wall, and Stephen Braswell called it. You know a halfback pass is coming, right? Well,
right.
He was right. It wasn't necessarily Grisham to Harvey, but it was Brandon Wall to Harvey. And Harvey had to go up for it. It wasn't like it was just the perfect pass right in his arms. It was a jump ball in which a kid who can dunk it pretty easily, the 6'5" Harvey went up and got it, came down with it at the 12, and that gave Mr. Honaker a chance to put it through on a 30-yard field goal to end the clock. It was a clock burner, and Howe extended their lead 17-7 after that 10-play, 73-yard drive that took the final 2 minutes and 20 seconds off the first half. Michael, what a fantastic finish to the first half. It wasn't a great start for the first half, but it was a pretty good finish for the first half, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was a good finish. With Bulldogs, Howe needs to come back out on fire and just continue what they're doing now.
You know, if Jefferson makes any adjustments quite like Grandview did, we're in for one heck of a ball game.
Yes, we are.
A week ago, Grandview made some outstanding halftime adjustments. Were shut out in the first half, scored 28 in the second half, and if that happens here tonight, Howe's going to be in big trouble. So Howe's going to have to maintain what they do, control the ball, and keep running that ball like warm butter through a biscuit. And I think the Bulldogs should be in good shape.
Right.
As long as they can control the clock, control the ball, not have penalties and turnovers much like they did in the first quarter. We are going to take a quick timeout. We'll let you listen to this great Jefferson marching band if they're still going to be going. It looks like they just finished. But you know what's coming up? The Howe High School Pride of Howe marching band will be coming up right after the Jefferson performance. We'll be back.
what dreams may come.
Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
And the type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask. And
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
when people come here, you know, it's something they can be proud of.
A word from Douglas Propane.
My tenured drivers are 5 to 7 years, and then our combined experience, you know, the benefit of the era that we live in is the smartphone era. Any of my staff have the ability at a moment's notice to pick up the phone, and my drivers can call my service staff, and my service can call my driver staff, and everyone can get a hold of us. And then we have a staff 24-hour answering service.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
In this very football season, we will experience extreme heat followed by the changing of the leaves and finally feel the cold chill of the November rain. Life changes, and sometimes it changes too fast. When you lose a loved one, you need a place of comfort and trust. Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory of Van Alstyne will provide you with that care. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins invite you to talk to their caring staff. They take pride in their responsibility to lighten your burden as you take the first steps towards healing.
Do you love coffee? Wish there was a local coffee shop to study, work, and get the best coffee drinks and baked goods in Texas? Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne is your dream come true. Carrie's Coffee Company serves the highest quality organic coffee and espresso drinks like cafe mocha, caramel macchiato, and cappuccino, plus iced coffee frappes with your favorite flavor. Visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne next to the post office, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to noon, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to noon.
Welcome back to Lindale. Lonnie Walker along with Michael Mosier. It's 17-7 here at the half. I'm not sure if I'm turned up too loud. It just seems like I'm turned up way too loud. But we'll try that. We'll see. Hopefully I'm not. Last week was a little bit hot, but hopefully we're okay and it's not pegging out or anything like that. Let's talk a little bit about Jaden Matthews. You heard that he kind of got a hug from Coach Hudson, is that right?
Yeah, that one, that crowd might go out on this side. Yeah, Coach Hudson usually, when your head coach walks up and hugs you around the neck, pat you on the back, that's usually not a good sign.
Yeah, not a good sign. It appears Matthews may be done tonight. Bad news for the Bulldogs, but I guess the good news is Andrew Griffin on his very first carry right after that popped it for 75 yards to the house, which gave Howe the score again as the Jefferson band is playing right in our crowd mics. That's kind of loud with us, and I'm not sure how it sounds back home, but the Bulldogs playing great so far, and they're coming back out on the field. We're still about 7.5 minutes before we kick off here. And I thought that maybe what we would do is play you a little bit of snippet of Tanner Hartsfield talking about last week, talking about tonight, and talking about leadership. And we'll let you hear that right now.
Welcome to the Senior Spotlight, where each week we will talk to a Howe Bulldog or two. Now let's talk to one of those members of the class of 2017. All right, we're joined this week by Tanner Hartsfield, the linebacker and pulling guard, who sometimes has his jersey pulled on by Tyler Grisham running through the hole. Tanner, last week, exciting game, huge game. When you heard you were going to go for the two-point conversion, what was going through your head?
Well, Coach West, he had asked the offensive line what play we wanted to run. All of us together, we all said the play that we ran. So when we got up to the line, we were all comfortable with it. I would say no pressure, but all the pressure was on us to move the 1.5 yards into the end zone, and we did it.
What was the feeling like once you accomplished that?
Well, I was laying on the ground thinking, did we get it? And I get pulled up by Clay. He said, we did it. And I started crying, smiling everywhere. Happiest man on the field.
Chasing down that streaking receiver just before the half. You made a lot of plays in the game of the night. I mean, a ton of them. That being one, the blocking the extra point was huge as well. But that running down the receiver to tackle him at the 5-yard right before the half, save that touchdown. I think that kind of exemplifies your team. What was going through your head?
Oh, at first, I'd opened up for my pass drop. I saw him catch it, and I see my two safeties there to make the tackle, and he broke the two tackles, and I just started kicked in gear and ran after him, hurdle over Brennan Ross. And then once we got to the 10-yard line, I knew I had to jump for him and tackle him. Did the leap of faith and got it done.
Playoffs are emotional. You know, the crowd is much bigger, and they play a bigger role in this playoff season than more so the regular season. How can you manipulate that crowd?
Just from like the little thing on defense, doing like a small little celebration, the crowd sees it, they hoop and holler, gets the offense on their toes, and they can't hear, miss snap counts. But I mean, then again, that works the same way when we're on offense. So that's why we want to keep the pedal to the metal, just don't let up.
Now, you guys as seniors have played together for a very long time. You guys have been together since 3rd and 4th grade, even before that probably. And now everything you guys are doing together kind of rests on how a sophomore plays at quarterback. So, how do you prepare him, and how is he fitting in and making the adjustment?
He's fitting in greatly. I mean, he's got second-team reps all year, and he gets a couple first-team reps with us when Wall is sick or just he needs extra work just in case this sort of thing happens. But we mess around with him a lot because he's so young, but he's taking in every bit of it, loving it.
So Coach Hudson has said before that there's not really a vocal leader in the clubhouse. There's nobody in there just to kind of set anybody straight. But, you look at this team and you look across and Tanner, you're it. I mean, you're the guy. You're the leader of the team, and I think tag, you're it. You have to be that guy, and can you be that guy?
Well, I've never really seen myself as like the leader that's going to tell you what to do. It's kind of more like I trust you and your ability. So like before game and everything, I'm not yelling at you or nothing, but when the lights are turned on and we go, I mean, I'm going to step up to the plate and do my best ability. And I'm going to encourage others to do better, lead them to victory. Just let's go get this done.
Let's talk about Jefferson a little bit tonight. You're probably going to lose the pregame. They're very good athletes, and what that means is basically nothing because once the game starts, all that athletic ability and show kind of goes out the window because it seems to balance out when you guys step on the field.
I mean, most teams we played this season have been more athletically talented than us. But you can have athletes and the best athletes, but it's how you play as a team. That's what matters.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about you kind of exploit.
We're going to cut that one short for just a moment as the Bulldogs are about ready to come back out on the field. So we'll let you listen to that. Here we come. Pretty loud horn you got there, Brian Ross.
Yeah, it is.
The Bulldogs are back out on the field, And we're just about ready for the second half here in Lindale, Texas. Monty Walker along with Michael Mosier and Stephen Braswell. Jefferson's going to start out with a football here to start the second half. They won the coin toss and they deferred, making Howe take the football first to start the game, which Howe really moved down the field very quickly. However, on a fourth and, I can't remember exactly what the down and distance was, but it was a fourth down and maybe 4. I don't remember, but Masters got the carry and got the first down by a lot and set up Howe in great shape. However, there was a flag on that play, a chop block, and Howe had to punt for the first time on the first series. So here comes Honecker and company to bang this one away. Howe's going to be kicking from right to left towards the west end of this Lindale Eagle Stadium here in East Texas. And we'll see if it's going to be a deep kick or another pooch. Right now, it is Taylor Smith lined up, still in the same spot for the pooch kick. This appears to be coming near side. It's going to be taken at the 32-yard line, and that's the freshman burner D. Black who makes the catch, and he will start right there at about the 36-yard line as that Jefferson band is right in our ear.
Yeah, they decided to come back.
So here we go in the third quarter, and Jefferson will start from their own 37. And we'll send 2 receivers up top and 1 down at the bottom. Now Hines is late getting on the field. Now he finally comes out there, and he'll stand to the left side and a little bit to the back of Hodge. It appears that he may get the carry here, and he will, right up the gut. Right side brought down at the 40, and forward progress will take him to the 41-yard line.
Andrew Griffin and Cameron Blesseye in on the stop.
Now, the Jefferson band is no longer in the stands. They're pointed straight at us. That's why that band was so loud just then, and now they're heading back up in the stands. So here we go, second down and about 6. Jefferson moving left to right. Blitz showing, and it's going to be a keeper up the middle, and Howe on the blitz stops him right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard loss. Tanner Hartsfield was like a heat-sinking missile straight up the middle from his linebacker position. Andrew Griffin also there, ball spotted at the 40-yard line, no gain.
Matt Griffin's in at nose guard.
And again, they're switching in and out. At least they were in the first half. A 3-man rotation at nose guard. Shotgun formation for Hodge. Hines stands to his right, dropping back 3 steps, looking far side, throwing it deep down the field, and it's going to be incomplete. Trying to hit Jackson, the big target on the left side, and that one falls incomplete. 4th down coming up. 4th and 7 from the 40-yard line, and a great stop by Howe. That's a statement stop on the first possession. And again, Hodge, the sophomore quarterback, just missed his receiver because Jackson was open. It wasn't like Jackson wasn't open. He is extremely fast, and Hodge just missed him. So here's the punt. It's a wobbly kick. Andrew Griffin's going to let it bounce at the 27 and take a huge Jefferson roll inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. So like Bill Parcells always said, you got to catch the football, and that one was not caught, and it takes a big roll inside the 15. And with 10:31 on the clock, the Howe Bulldogs will be moving right to left. And Andrew Griffin into the game, stays into the game as Jaden Matthews came out at half, but he still had his pants on, but had his leather jacket on. His shoulder pads were off. Riggs goes under center on first down, handoff, first man through, and I believe that is Griffin. No, that's Grisham rather. And Grisham will push towards the 20-yard line, and just shy of that, maybe to about the 18, maybe the 19-yard line.
Jordan Randall and Taylor Smith made the stop for Jefferson.
So wax on, wax off here in the booth as it's frosting over again on the windows. Very warm up here in this little bitty press box room that we're in. Here's Masters in motion, handoff to
Grisham actually, I believe that's Riggs going to keep it around the right edge. And no gain there, up to about the 21-yard line, a couple yards, which will bring up a 3rd and long.
Joshua Kellogg and Taylor Smith made the stop for Jefferson.
Actually, it's 3rd and 1 here. I got my markers messed up, so 3rd and a long one, 3rd and 2, the scoreboard says, 9:26 on the clock. And this will be Grisham up the middle, not sure he got it. Right straight up the middle, maybe to the 24, but I don't think that's going to be enough. And it's hard to see way down there on that other side of the end zone. We're about the 40 on the other side. The ball's going to be spotted, and a 1st down. I told you it's hard to see.
Alawan Rice made the stop for Jefferson.
We'll spot the ball at the 24. Grisham just barely got it.
Yeah, he was. I saw Rice was communicating a little bit extra with.
Here's a handoff left side Grisham, and he'll pass the 25 up to about the 29-yard line. And now I think that was Connor Jackson went rolling backwards. So a 5-yard gain for Grisham on 1st down.
Cleveland Williams and Kiefer Luster in on the stop.
2nd down and 5 coming up. 8:29 on the 3rd quarter clock. Howe leading 17-7. I guess I got to change that. It's not halftime anymore. Riggs goes under center. And this is going to be Riggs keeping it to the right side 40. Look out to the 45 near midfield, down at the 48-yard line. A nice gain there by Riggs on the keeper around the right edge. And a flag is down.
I believe looks like it's going to be against Howe. Got a player down as well. It's a little slow getting up is D. Black for Jefferson.
And he is limping off, not putting a lot of weight on his left ankle. And he stops and takes a knee at about the hash coming off the near side. So the trainer's coming out there for Jefferson. And I believe that unnecessary roughness, a personal foul against Howe. That's a huge penalty. And Howe has been shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties all night long. That one a big gainer up to the 48-yard line near midfield. And the 15-yarder is going to push him all the way back to the 22. It was against Tyler Grisham, as a little bit of talking has been going back and forth between he and Alawan Rice. And Rice got in his head a little bit there, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and about 11 now for Howe. So here comes Riggs. Griffin alone in the backfield with 2 slots. And now the officials get him started. Here we go. 8:09 and rolling in the 3rd quarter. Man in motion. It's going to be a handoff far side. Fumble. The ball's on the turf. I believe Howe. Well, Jefferson has recovered at the Howe 16-yard line. And how big does that penalty look now? And now another injured Jefferson player. But Howe has fumbled the ball again. It was a bad exchange between Riggs, and I believe that was Griffin. Or it might have been Grisham. I wasn't able to see who it was. Way down on the far side. It's hard to see from the other 40 to the far side. But I know it was a bad exchange from Riggs to the ball carrier. An injured Jefferson Bulldog down. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back.
A word from Douglas Propane.
I've been in the industry for 21 years. The other day I got a call from a elderly lady on the side of the highway that wanted to thank me because one of my technicians stopped and changed her tire for her. The service goes so much further than beyond propane. It's the mentality of the person that we have on our staff. We appreciate our customer base in Howe and surrounding communities, and go Bulldogs. Have a great year.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
Well, the injured player is none other than Damian Hines. So one running back for Howe is out, and now Damian Hines, he comes gingerly jogging off the field, not putting much pressure on his left leg, but he is checking off the field. Hines also plays defensive tackle, but he will not be in here on this offensive series. But Tybo Williams also has 577 yards, who's coming in with 7 touchdowns. So Hodge in the gun is going to hand off. No, he's going to fake it to Williams. He's going to run around the left edge, trying to get to the 15 and does. And Siebold will bring him down at about the 14.
Monty, that was actually Kylan Thomas at quarterback.
Thomas is in. So a new quarterback and a new running back in on this series. So it's going to be Thomas in the gun. Stays in here. Low snap, digs it out, hand off. And that's Tybo Williams, and he's going to be brought down. No gain, maybe a loss, back to the 19-yard line. It is a loss. A loss of 5 as J.P. Queen was right there to make the stop. And all of a sudden, Howe's having to flex their muscles here and forcing a 3rd and 12. 7:36 on the clock here in the third. Howe leading 17-7, but Jefferson knocking on the door. Hodge goes back in at quarterback, and Williams stands to his left. Shotgun, fakes the hand, throws the screen out, pass. It's going to be incomplete. It was not a lateral, but it was close to being a lateral. The intended receiver was Kevon Smith. It hit him right in the 15 on his chest and dropped right in front of him. And now it's going to be a 4th and 12, and we'll see what happens here. No field goal kicker coming on at the moment, as Hodge apparently is going to send his troops out to go for it here on 4th and 12 with 7:20 left to go in the third.
Yeah, that's the worst place in the world to throw a pass. You don't want it to hit me in the numbers.
2 receivers down at the bottom, 2 receivers up at the top. Hodge drops back 5 steps, looks left side, throwing towards the end zone is going to be incomplete. A high pass, and Cooper Akins was in, that's Seth Siebold rather, in coverage, as it was pretty high. They were looking for TQ Jackson. It goes up. It was not uncatchable, but it would have been a great catch if he caught it. So turnover on downs, and Howe will take over now right at the 19-yard line, just about where they coughed it up.
Looks like Damian Hines checked back into the game.
So there's 7:15 on the clock, and Howe's going to take the ball at their own 19, and Riggs is going to hand off to Griffin, running right side like a bulldozer to about the 26-7-yard line. You know, Andrew Griffin's brother was a pretty good ball player here for the Bulldogs several years back. Garrett Griffin had over 300 yards in a game at Whitewright several years back. Andrew, little brother, running pretty hard right there. Riggs goes under center, and he'll hand off to Griffin again. And not much doing this time, up to about the 30.
Alawan Johnson and Jordan Randall get on the stop for Jefferson.
You know, I say not much doing, but it was 4 yards.
Yeah, 4 yards.
You know, and that's kind of the way this offense is.
First down.
A new set of downs at the 30-yard line. Clock at 6:26. Howe with a 10-point lead here in the third quarter. Riggs handoff Masters on the reverse to the right side, and he's going to gain maybe 5, 6, 7 yards to the 35-yard line. They'll actually bring it back, spot him at the 34, so give him only 4 on the carry.
Jordan Randall made the stop for Jefferson.
His knee must have hit around the right side before he fell forward, and Elvington will bring the play in here
on 2nd down and 6 from the 34-yard line. Everybody tight right here. Riggs, handoff. This is going to be Grisham around the left side, and he lowers his shoulder to the 38, to the 40, 45-yard line, and Grisham with a patented cannonball carry. First down for Howe at the 45.
D. Mitchell made a stop.
Man, alive. I bet his shoulder pads have to be restrapped every game. He runs behind his shoulder pads so well.
He does. Tyler does a good job there.
So 1st and 10 for Howe, right to left, 5:21 on the clock. Everybody tight. Again, Riggs under center. Fakes the hand, and this time Riggs is going to keep it around the right side, and he's going to be close to midfield and right there at the 50. So a 5-yard gain for Riggs on the quarterback keeper to the right side. And again, Damian Hines checks out of the game. He's just really having a hard time on that left leg. Whatever it is, he's having a hard time staying in the game now. And that's a big weapon on offense, but of course he plays that defensive tackle for the Jefferson Bulldogs as well.
Like Jakari Mosley checked into the game for him.
2nd down and 5. Howe slowing the tempo down just a little bit here. 2nd down, and here's a handoff to Grisham right side. He's not slowing down anything, to the 40 and dives forward close to the 30-yard line. I thought for a moment, what happened? He must have slipped and fell, because I thought he was going to take on that defender and just fell out. But he must have slipped and fell down. Ball at the 36-yard line. A gain of 14 on the carry and a new set of downs for Howe.
Yeah, I've noticed around the track it looks wet. They may have gotten some rain over here this morning.
So now Ty Harvey comes into the game, brings the play in. 4:15 on the clock. Moving right to left. Chase Harvey, his cousin, breaks the huddle. He's got the ball in his hands, ready to snap it to Riggs, and he does. It's going to be a handoff to Masters on the right side. Hit at the line of scrimmage and brought down there. Maybe a gain of 1 to the 34-yard line.
Jordan Randall made a stop for Jefferson.
They'll spot it at the 35, which is a gain of 1. So the ball with the nose of the football touching the backside of the 35. Riggs, handoff, Grisham, left side, over left guard, and he'll gain 5 to the 30. And, Grisham's good for 5 almost every carry. Grisham came into the game tonight with 175 carries, 1,008 yards, averaging 5.76 per carry, and he gets 5 right there. Very rarely does Grisham get less than that. With a 5.6 average, it seems like he gets 4 or 5 every time. Riggs with Masters in motion and a flag down. It appears that Howe may have flinched on the right side of the offensive line. So what was a 3rd and 4 is going to be a 3rd and 9, as they're going to move the ball back outside of the 35, with now the other nose of the ball touching the 35. The front nose of the ball is touching the 35 now.
It's looking at Jordan Randall. He's been favoring that left arm a little bit.
So 3rd and 9 for Howe. This is the 9th play of the drive. In Jefferson territory, handoff Grisham over right guard. Won't go down, but does finally at the 31. A 4-yard gain sets up 4th and about 6. And it would be a 50-yard field goal, but you know how the Riverboat Gambler is. This is right in his wheelhouse. So Cameron, and it appears like Brent Masters checks out. And on 4th and 6, here comes Howe. Riggs, handoff, left side, Grisham. Left side, fighting, and he's going to be close. He's going to be very close. Spotted at the 26-yard line, and that is going to be so close. So close. Zach Hudson looking feverishly from across the field, and they're going to pull the chains. Tyler Grisham signaling first down, but they're going to pull this and see. Right now, the ball is exactly at the 26, straddling the stripe, but the ball is in the middle of the field. It's really difficult to see because it is at an angle, but it's right on it. It's going to be so close. They're about to pull the chains, setting the marker on the 30-yard line. They pull it, and it is going to be a first down. What a massively huge first down that is. Massive. The officials tonight, referee Cody Nolan, the umpire Willie Mitchell, the head linesman Anthony Stone, the line judge Nathan Simmons, and the back judge Clint Holmes. And now Howe with a new set of downs at the 26-yard line. Elvington brings the play in. 1:37 on the third quarter clock. Moving right to left towards that west end zone. 26 yards away from pay dirt with a 10-point lead, looking for more. Riggs goes under center. 2 slots and 1 man in the backfield is Griffin, and he gets the carry up to the 21-yard line. Griffin, they're going to spot it at the 21. Griffin is just shot out of a cannon when he gets the football. Clay Marshall has his helmet ripped off. He's going to have to check out of the game for a play. Or is he? He's staying in right now. Nobody said a word, so he's going to stay in, and now Harvey brings the play in. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. And now the official is holding up his arm, and apparently he's going to have to go out. And Dale West puts his hand on his knee like, hurry up and call the play. Let's go. It's like when the replay in football. That's exactly what that situation was. Dale West wanted to hurry up and snap it, but now Clay Marshall's going to have to check out. So Harvey will bring the play in. It appears that
Mike Heppenstall.
No, 64.
Oh, 64, I'm sorry.
Here we go. Second down and 5. Riggs, handoff, left side. Grisham looking for some yardage, and he has close to the first down at the 15-yard line. So Howe just pushing and pushing and pushing, doing what they do right here on this very drive. There's 32 seconds on the clock. Howe started this drive with 7:15 on the clock, and they're going to burn the final 7:15. That is the end of the third quarter. Holy moly, what a drive the Bulldogs have going here, taking the final 7 minutes and 15 seconds off the third quarter clock. When we come back, it'll be fourth quarter time in Lindale, Texas.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
In this very football season, we will experience extreme heat followed by the changing of the leaves and finally feel the cold chill of the November rain. Life changes, and sometimes it changes too fast. When you lose a loved one, you need a place of comfort and trust. Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory of Van Alstyne will provide you with that care. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins invite you to talk to their caring staff. They take pride in their responsibility to lighten your burden as you take the first steps towards healing.
Well, this one ain't over, but Howe's trying to put a nail in that coffin right here. If they can punch it in 15 yards away and a new set of downs, we are entering the fourth quarter. Howe is up by 10. A touchdown here would be massive. as Jefferson really banged up a little bit now with some injured players. Obviously Howe without their starting running back as well. Riggs goes under center. Man in motion is Masters. This will be Andrew Griffin on the carry. Men at the line of scrimmage. Not much. A couple to the 12.
You know, if Howe scores here, Jefferson, they're already hanging their heads and look exhausted. They're just going to give it up.
Well, after you run a drive, that's 7 minutes and 15, and now, you know, we're getting close to 8 minutes on this drive. It's just improbable. You know, that just takes the air out of everything you have. And, you know, this is Howe's second drive of the half. It's the second time. So here's Riggs from the 12. Handoff. Grisham brought down from behind. A great play on that from the left defensive end as he basically trailed Grisham and drug him down. But Grisham will gain a yard or so. Well, no, they'll spot it at the, not about the 13, so a loss of 1.
Tanner Murphy for Jefferson is slow getting up after every play. These guys are just wore out.
10:49 on the clock in the fourth quarter. Chase Harvey breaks the huddle. Everybody follows him here, and everybody is tight. Man in motion is Masters, and Riggs is going to hand off to Grisham straight up the gut to the 10-yard line. This is the 16th play of the drive coming up. I'm going to run out of room on my chart.
Yeah. Alawan Rice and Tanner Murphy made the stop for Jefferson.
Here comes Landry Elvington, and it's 4th down and 6. Howe can get a first down at about the 2. Riggs goes under center on 4th and 6. And this will be Andrew Griffin, right side to the 5. And he's to the 4-yard line. It's going to be close. I can't tell exactly where it is, and it looks like, it appears like, and it is a first down. 17th play of the drive. This is remarkable. And whistles will blow before this one can get underway. Let's see what this is. I don't see a flag. And the officials, and maybe there's a time issue on the clock. Right now there's 9:53 on the clock left in the game. And the ball spotted at the 4. Fresh set of downs for Howe. Still no movement of the clock. Still 9:53 on the clock, Michael.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get them to reset the clock, and they just won't do it. I'm not sure why.
Some scores.
All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. It's 9:44 on the clock now. Pottsboro on top of White Oak, 21-6. Mineola 28, Whitesboro 20.
There's some good games. Here we go. Ball on the 4-yard line. 9:32 on the clock. Riggs goes under center. And Griffin fighting forward. Is he in? And it is touchdown time in Texas. There's the signal. Howe extends the lead. 23-7 awaiting the PAT by Honecker. Andrew Griffin right behind the right guard punches it in from the 4. On the 17th play of the drive. Man alive. And the kick is good. Howe extends the lead 24-7 with 9:21 left to go in the game. Back in a moment from Lindale Stadium.
Do you love coffee? Wish there was a local coffee shop to study, work, and get the best coffee drinks and baked goods in Texas? Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne is your dream come true. Carrie's Coffee Company serves the highest quality organic coffee and espresso drinks like cafe mocha, caramel macchiato, and cappuccino, plus iced coffee frappes with your favorite flavor. Visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne next to the post office, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to noon, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to noon.
Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Are you kidding me? 9 minutes and 23 seconds on the drive. 9 minutes and 23 seconds. It was a 17-play drive that went 81 yards for Howe. Ended on a 4-yard touchdown by Andrew Griffin. And Honeker's going to pooch this one away to the left side, and it's going to be caught at the 37-yard line. A missed tackle, and now the receiver is brought down at the 39. A nice job on the kickoff team there of not allowing any return. But Jefferson will now start this possession at their own 40. And there's 9:16 on the clock. Howe basically burned an entire quarter almost on that play, on that drive.
Wow, that's awesome.
24-7, Howe leads it here, seeking what appears to be a matchup with Mineola if they can hang on here. And if Mineola can hang on here. And the Jefferson Bulldog fans are starting to exit. Hodge in the gun. And this is a handoff. Near side, double reverse. And now a halfback pass, throwing it back to the quarterback. Some trickery. Kevon Smith makes the catch, 50. 45, 40, chased down to the 30. Knocked out of bounds at the 26-yard line by Tanner Hartsfield. It was a there's a flag down back of the line of scrimmage. It could be an illegal man downfield. There was a lot of action going on. Let's set it up for you. The slot man came across, which was Kafa Luster, and he took the carry from the slot. And then he reverse-handed it to Kevon Smith, or to another receiver, who lateraled it back, pitched it back to the quarterback, Hodge, who then threw it down the field to Kevon Smith. So a lot of action going on there, but what it results in is a penalty, an illegal man downfield. So a little razzle-dazzle there, and they flipped the revolver like Doc Holliday and shot themselves in the foot.
Right.
So now the ball at the 35-yard line. And Hodge goes in motion, trips to the near side, looking this way, throwing it across the middle, wide open and incomplete. For a moment, the receiver, Cleveland Williams, was wide open. However, Hodge underthrew the ball just a little bit, enough for Williams to have to come back a little bit to the ball. By that time, some defenders had caught up, and Williams just ended up trying to knock the ball down away from the defenders.
Yeah, because Brendan Ross was right there to take that ball away.
So it's 2nd down and 15 for Jefferson at their own 35-yard line. Moving right to left with 8:49 left to go in the game. Hodge in the gun. Hines is in the backfield, and he gets the carry here in a double reverse again. Kevon Smith, he's going to keep it this time, 30, 35. He's fast 40, 45, and tripped up and down, close to a first down at the 46-yard line. Hartsfield again makes the tackle. An 11-yard gain for Kevon Smith, and that will bring up a 3rd and 4 for Jefferson. 2 receivers to the near side, one up top, moving right to left. Hodge is going to keep it right up the middle, and he's going to be brought down close to a first down. I don't believe he got it. Needed to get right at midfield to get the first down, and he's just short of midfield.
But it's hard, and now a late flag comes in, a very late flag, so you know what that is. And it's behind the line of scrimmage. Grisham was right there to make the stop. Initially, right now it's just going to be very close to a first down. But let's check the flag and see what that is. They're pointing at Jefferson. It could be a personal foul against them. It's going to be a personal foul, we know. It is against Jefferson, so back that up. And sportsmanlike conduct. So instead of having a 4th and 1 at midfield, it's going to be 4th and a truckload. There's the double barrel to the toe again.
Yes, it was.
8:10 on the clock. The ball spotted now at the 35-yard line. And Jefferson is going to elect to punt, or at least line up that way. You may not see it, as if you're going to fake punt, this is probably the time to do it. Howe's not even sending anybody back. And now a flag is down from the line judge, and this is going to be a legal procedure against Jefferson. So now, instead of 4th and 16, it's going to be 4th and 21. It appears like the 9-minute drive has Jefferson imploding.
Jefferson's just falling apart.
Hines back to punt, and now it appears that he will punt. And this is a high kick, not real long, but a high kick, going to bounce at the 49, take a bounce straight towards the House sidelines and back a little bit. So the ball will spot at the 47-yard line, and Howe will be 47 yards away for more points here. 7:32 on the clock. And Howe just trying to, if you can put a 9-minute drive together, you can put a 7-minute drive together.
Right.
And Howe's ultimate goal here is to go 47 yards, and take the final 7:32 off the clock. That would make Zach Hudson very happy.
Just total frustration on the Jefferson sideline.
So here is Riggs under center, and now whistles will blow before this one can get underway, and this one's going to be against Howe. A false start against Howe will back them up on the other side of the field to the 48-yard line.
There's 7:31 left on the clock, and both teams have 3 timeouts apiece.
So Elvington will bring the play in. Howe just trying to kill this thing, leading 24-7. An outstanding job on defense tonight. The offense sputtered a little bit through fumbles and penalties, but here's a handoff left side. Andrew Griffin fighting forward, surging forward to the 39-yard line, and another late flag comes in at the end of the play. Well, Hartsfield was wrestling around in the backfield, and he was hit from behind. So let's check and see if this is on Jefferson. It's going to be a personal foul against Jefferson. Unsportsmanlike conduct as a late hit apparently on Tanner Hartsfield there. And now that will bring the ball to the 29-yard line, which will be a first down for Howe.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow, that's something else right there. Just total frustration on Jefferson's part.
We'll get to that. Here's a handoff, Andrew Griffin, and he'll make his way to the 25-yard line.
Now they got another flag, unsportsmanlike.
And now, the senior captain, now a hat flies off. So this will be a double personal foul, as the senior Tanner Murphy got in the middle of one of his players and tried to get him to hush his mouth, as Murphy showed some leadership there, but I think the damage was done. And this could be, Stephen Braswell says it could be offsetting, because there's 2 personal fouls here, and there is some jawing going back and forth. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think the initial flag may have been against Howe.
There's a lot of frustration on the field. You know, Jefferson came in tonight. And there's one sportsmanlike on each side, so it apparently it's going to be offsetting. Well, Jefferson came into tonight with 416 points scored, averaging 38 per game. And they've got 7 on the board. Nothing has gone their way. Howe's played keep away, and Howe's kind of done what they do. They've had their way with Jefferson tonight, and the Bulldogs of Jefferson are not real happy about that.
No, it looks like Monty on those offsetting penalties. Number 54 for Jefferson has been ejected from the stadium.
And here's Riggs under center, handoff Grisham right side, and he's going to be tackled by Murphy at the 20-yard line. It was his second unsportsmanlike conduct, and that's why he is no longer eligible in the game. So Howe's going to be close to another first down here, 3rd and maybe 1 from the 20. Just outside the 20 as the nose of the ball not quite touching it. And Harvey will bring the play in. As here comes Riggs. Under center, man in motion is Masters. Riggs fumbles it a little bit, gets it back, hands off left side, Grisham. And a fumble, and now a late flag again, and now another hat, and there's some extracurricular activity going on in the field as this one's getting a little out of hand, and another flag, and another hat, and now coaches are running on the field as this one is getting rather ugly. And Mason Riggs comes out with the ball, hands it to the official, and now the coaches from Jefferson are getting into it with the officials right at midfield at the 20-yard line. And Jefferson has a man down at the 10. The Howe players have been pulled aside to the far side at the 30, inside the hash of their sideline. Jefferson has a man down at the 10. There is total frustration and chaos. The Jefferson coaches, Antoine Jefferson, or Jimerson rather, the head coach, is out there talking to the officials. There's hats and flags everywhere. I'm not sure anyone has their hat on. Well, there's 3 officials that have their hat on, but there's 2 hats on the ground. There's 3 hats on the ground. 3 hats and 2 flags. And now Howe's going to take a knee because there's an injured player at the 10-yard line for Jefferson. So there's 3 hats and 3 flags on the ground. And a lot of frustration.
Yeah, you hate that. It's been a great ball game. Just frustrations, I get it, but sometimes.
Elijah Rice will come off the field now as the injured player is still down. And now he's going to pop back up. And the injured player is the senior captain, Tanner Murphy. And he'll come off the field, the linebacker. And now we got to sort this thing out. We got to pick up 3 hats and 3 flags.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out where
so that's an odd number, so it's going to go one way or the other.
That's an even number. We got a flag.
Oh, that's right. We got 6 penalties.
Yeah.
6 personal fouls.
Wow.
Well,
so after we back them up and move them forward and back them up, we'll be in the same spot.
We're probably going to have to turn up the crowd mic because the official will make the announcement here, and let's see what he has to say and see if we can hear him. And now they're still discussing. Here we go. Unsportsmanlike on Howe. Unsportsmanlike on Jefferson. Unsportsmanlike on Jefferson. Unsportsmanlike on Howe. They all offset. And now we'll start it again from the 18-yard line.
Hey, you think there might be 1 or 2 more here?
Boy, I tell you what.
it's going to be interesting from here on out.
Right. It will.
.6:01 on the clock. And I'm not sure the rule here. If you get ejected, if you get another personal foul and you get ejected, I'm not sure whether you play the next week or not. So Howe apparently has some players with personal fouls here. Is going to have to be very careful. You don't want to get anybody ineligible for next week. Although we don't know the rules, so I don't know exactly if that's the case. This is going to be a handoff, right side. And this is Andrew Griffin running over a defender to the 10-yard line. He barrels his way to the 8. Actually, I hate to say this, but he ran over his own left guard. So now the ball spotted inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for Howe, who's trying to punch it in again. 5:40 on the clock. Clock now starts with the new set of downs. Elvington brings in the play. After all of that, here we go. Here come the Bulldogs of Howe, and Riggs to the line of scrimmage. Handoff, Grisham, left side. Escapes out of one defender, lowers the shoulder, runs behind his shoulder pads, has a hard time going down, and finally is going to be brought down at about the 1. 8th play of the drive for Howe. Ends at the 1-yard line, and 5:04 on the clock. So the Bulldogs of Howe trying to punch it in right here to put the exclamation point and maybe perhaps the final nail in the coffin. Howe looking to advance to the regional finals for one of the very few times in school history. 2014 the last time. Prior to that, 1990. And here's Riggs, handoff, left side, Grisham, he's in, it's touchdown time in Texas. And there's your exclamation point and the final nail in the coffin perhaps, as Howe, it goes up 30-7 with 4:28 left to go in the game, awaiting this PAT by Honaker. Holy moly. A 1-yard touchdown by Grisham. Ross to hold. Honaker's kick. It is high. It's off the right side goalpost, but sneaks through and a late flag comes in. Imagine that. So hang on. Let's wait a minute. For the moment, it's 31. But let's check the flag. And apparently it's going to be against Jefferson. They're going to decline that. So 31-7. Howe in the lead with 4:28 left to go. Back in a moment.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only.
Where you get great food and big smiles, and a little message for our Howe Bulldog football players. Go Bulldogs, fight Bulldogs, win, win, win. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
If you haven't been to downtown Howe lately, you might be surprised. All the buildings are full, including the unique retail experiences of Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium. Located at 107 and 109 East Haining Street, the two antique and gift shops offer unique items that are rarely available in the Howe area, but with Howe area prices. Come and enjoy this trip back in time to the Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium, open noon to 8, Thursdays through Saturday. Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium.
Well, there's a penalty against Howe, actually, on the extra point. It's going to be marked off on the kickoff here, and Honaker's going to boot it away from the 25. Howe just ended an 8-play, 52-yard drive. It took 3 minutes and 4 seconds off the clock, and we're at 4:28 left to go in the game. Honaker is going to pooch this one again to the right side, going to be taken at exactly the 50-yard line. And a nice seam there up to the 40 goes Kiefer Luster, the junior receiver. And Andrew Griffin makes the stop, and Jefferson will start 40 yards away from getting on the board here. But not a lot of time and a long way to go.
You know, I was looking up that question that we were discussing about ejections, and I don't see anything that says it's up to the school discretion.
So here comes Jefferson at the 40-yard line. Moving right to left with 4:24 left to go in the game. Two receivers up top, one at the bottom. Shotgun formation. And this is Hodge dropping back 3 steps, throws across the right side. It's going to be caught by his receiver, Kevon Smith, up to the 28-yard line. Goes out of bounds for a first down. 12-yard gain.
J.P. Queen and Brennan Ross run him out of bounds.
So that'll take the ball to the 28. The clock has stopped after he goes out of bounds at 4:17. No flags on the play, as apparently everybody's keeping their cool for the moment. 28-yard line. Hodge still in the gun. Drops back 3 steps, 5 steps, 7 steps, setting up the screen. And that's going to be Hines, the back on the middle screen, and he'll make the catch, but not doing a whole lot there. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and perhaps a yard to the 27.
J.P. Queen and Andrew Griffin in on the stop for the Howe.
So 2nd down and 9 coming up for Jefferson with 3:53 on the clock. Hodge drops back 5 steps, looks left side, across the middle. It's going to be almost intercepted. He was trying to hit his big target there, T.Q. Jackson.
Flag on the play.
But a flag is back at the line of scrimmage at about the 31-yard line. And apparently Stephen Braswell says holding against Jefferson. So that'll back it up a little bit. 3:42 on the clock. And that Jefferson band is still going at it. Although trailing by 24 here in Lindale. So the ball now, after the penalty, spotted at the 38-yard line. Still in Howe territory. As Hodge drops back, looks left side, deep down the field. It's going to be intercepted by Ty Harvey at the 9-yard line. Harvey picks it off. The 6'5" jumper goes up, comes down with it, falls down at the 9.
Yeah, Cameron Blessow, good lick on quarterback Trey Hodges, just as he released that ball.
So Howe's going to take over with 3:35 on the clock, deep in their own territory at their own 9-yard line. And now it's an exodus on the near side. There's a sea of maroon hitting the streets. They're exiting the bleachers over here. And the black and white of Howe still in their seats on the far side. Riggs goes under center on first down. Handoff left side. Cade Courtney into the game, and he'll gain enough up to about the 14-yard line, a gain of 5. First action of the night, first carry of the night for Cade Courtney.
Kiefer Luster in on the stop.
So some new players coming in for Howe. It'll be Mikey Heimel bringing the play in for Tanner Hartsfield, who checks out. And Peyton Reagan checks in. Dylan Moreau into the game. And Riggs still at quarterback. Handoff. Courtney, left side. First down up to the 20-yard line. They're very close to it, and they are moving the sticks to the 20.
Jordan Randall made the stop for Jefferson.
There's 2:49 on the clock. It stops momentarily to move the sticks, and now it starts with 2:46 and rolling. Ball at the 20-yard line. The coaches for Howe are already clearing out. They're done. They're walking out. They've packed everything up, and they're heading down to the field, awaiting a gold trophy presentation. Here's a handoff to Moreau around the left edge, and he's going to be brought down after maybe 3 to the 24-yard line, maybe 4 on the carry. So Howe will become area champions for the first time since 2014. And there hasn't been, just a whole lot of area champions in Howe Bulldog history. you can circle 2014 as Riggs comes under center. And he'll hand off right side, and that is Cade Courtney. Jumps over an arm tackle for a first down at the 31-yard line. So, yes, there is 1985, 1989, 1990, 2014, and now 2016 area champions. Now, there has been one team that won the second round, but it wasn't area champions back in 1970. They were regional champions back then. They didn't have the area round. So, 3 rounds is as far as Howe's ever gone. And now Howe is in the victory formation. And Riggs will take a knee with 1:01 on the clock. Is it victory light time in Texas?
It's victory light time.
I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going to turn this one on again.
45 seconds left.
Hey, I've got a lot of guys passing me. I had 7 playoff games started. For a long time, me and John Norwood were by ourselves. These guys are about to have 8. There's another knee with 30 seconds. And with that, your Howe Bulldogs, there's the victory light. It is turned on. Howe, your Bulldogs are area champions for only the 5th time in school history, the 2nd time in 3 years. A dominant 31-7 win tonight, and that'll set up a matchup next week in the regional championship round with what I believe is Mineola, if the score holds true.
35-27, 9-10 left. Mineola over Whitesboro.
So Howe apparently is going to play Mineola in the regional round a week from, well, it could be Thursday, it could be Friday, it could be Saturday. We don't know. We'll let you know at HoweEnterprise.com as soon as we do. The teams are shaking hands at midfield. Nothing has broken out. Everybody seems to be calm and cordial as they're shaking hands from one side of the field to the other. And Jaden Matthews in his leather jacket and football pants, it appears he is running right now, but he's limping a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not sure he's probably supposed to be running right now.
Well, we'll see what happens
I'm not gonna
to Jaden Matthews. What a tremendous game tonight for the Howe Bulldogs. There's the sophomore Mason Riggs with his arms pumping in the air. Takes on a good, nice, brisk stroll to the far sideline. And it is time for Howe to raise their arms for the school song and the fight song. And we'll let you listen to that. Well, the Jefferson Bulldogs showed a lot of class right there. I'm going to tell you, they got to midfield with their hearts so heavy, faced the Howe crowd during the Howe fight song and school song. And now they come over here for their fans.
They removed their hats and their helmets for a Howe school song.
What a tremendous show of sportsmanship by the Jefferson Bulldogs as they now go through their school song and fight song. You know, there was a lot of one of those tempers flaring tonight. There was a lot of that going on tonight. And it is one of those situations where there's a lot of emotion. It's it's hard to explain the emotion that comes out of the playoffs. As it appears, we have 4:19 left in the game with Pottsboro, who's leading White Oak. Who saw that coming? White Oak ranked 10th in the state. They're out. Pottsboro will move on.
Well, it doesn't have any ramifications for the Bulldogs.
Not yet.
But the Farmersville Farmers are beating Sunnyvale, ranked 4th in the state, 35-21.
How about that? Well, I'm not going to go there. So Howe becomes area champions for only the 5th time in school history. Now, how about this? Zach Hudson ties Buck Smith for overall wins with 29. Hudson goes 29, gets his 29th win tonight, which ties Buck Smith, and he gets his 5th playoff win, which is the most in Howe Bulldog history. No other coach has won 5 games for the Bulldogs in the playoffs. Zach Hudson, you're the guy. The Riverboat Gambler has done it again into the record book, and what a outstanding performance the Howe Bulldogs had tonight. We'll recap it for you real quick. Matter of fact, let's take a quick timeout. We'll recap it for you when we come back.
Tired of paying for channels you don't watch? Cabinet Home Theater and Dish got you covered. The new Flex Pack lets you customize your own package. For $39.99 per month, the Flex Pack includes 50 popular channels plus an additional channel pack of your choice. You can choose from locals, news, kids, and sports. Give us a call, 903-892-3499, or go to CavenderTV.com. You can get the Hopper 3 DVR for only $10 a month more. Give us a call.
Think back to the best fried pies you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. Sweetie Pies has handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 972-821-1508. You must try Sweetie Pie's signature fried pie, Sawdust. I'm not even kidding.
All right, let's recap this. And Michael Mosier, the Howe is area champions for the first time since 2014. Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Howe has now won 22 of their last 31 games. 24 of their last 31, I believe. 24 of the last 31. That's pretty dominating right there. All right, let's recap this for you. The Jefferson Bulldogs won the toss initially in the football game. They elected to have Howe with the football first. They deferred. So Howe took it at their own 31-yard line, was driving the field all the way down to the 41-yard line, got a first down on a Brent Masters run around the left edge, but a penalty and a chop block brought it back, and Howe had to punt. Jefferson took the ball with 8:48 left to go in the first at their own 19-yard line, but they had to punt. Howe got the ball back with 6:21 left to go in the first from their own 42-yard line, drove steadily again. Really, Howe's offense was tremendous all night long. However, mistakes were there, and Matthews fumbled at the 25-yard line. And Jefferson took over at their own 19 with 4:45 left to go in the first quarter. Drove a few plays, about 6 plays, and punted. Howe got the ball, 3:09 left to go in the first from their own 45-yard line and punted. So that's what we had. Not much going on in the first quarter. Jefferson took the ball at their own 21-yard line with 58 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and drove down to the 37-yard line, and Seth Siebold picked off a pass by Trey Hodge, and that gave Howe the ball at the 42-yard line in the second quarter. And that's where things started picking up a little bit for the Howe Bulldogs. Howe drove 9 plays, 58 yards. Tyler Grisham took it in from the 2-yard line, and Howe took the first lead of the night, 7-0, with 7:38 left to go in the second. They took 3:50 off the clock on that drive. Jefferson, however, answered right back. They took the ball at the Howe 48 after a pooch kick and a good return and drove the field 24-yard, capped off by a 24-yard touchdown by Trey Hodge. That ended a 5-play, 48-yard drive, tied the game at 7, and left 5:29 on the clock. Howe took it, and on that touchdown by Trey Hodge, Jaden Matthews, playing outside linebacker for Tyler Grisham, ended up getting his leg taken out, and he was out of the game. So now you wonder who's going to come in for Matthews on offense. A dangerous situation. So with 5:29 on the clock, Howe takes it at their own 25-yard line, and Andrew Griffin steps in for Jaden Matthews. And on the very first play, he goes 75 yards for the score, ending a one-play, 75-yard drive. It took only 12 seconds off the clock. Ball control, right?
Right.
Howe goes up 14-7, retakes the lead with 5:17 left to go before the half. Jefferson takes the ball at the Howe 48 after another pooch kick and a good return. And a little trickery went awry for Jefferson as they tried the hook and lateral. And it was fumbled, recovered by Ty Harvey, who had a great game tonight. Howe took it with 2:20 left to go in the third at their own 15-yard line, drove 73 yards on 10 plays, and ended it with 1 second left to go in the half on a 30-yard field goal by Bryce Honecker, the junior kicker. Howe went up 17-7 at that point with took 2:20 off the clock. Jefferson, who had deferred, got the ball back to start the second half, but had to punt on their first possession, which gave the ball to Howe at their own 13-yard line with 10:31 on the clock in the third quarter. However, there was a fumble on an exchange from Riggs to a running back, and that gave Jefferson the ball in great shape at the 16-yard line in Howe territory. Looked like they were about to punch it in. I mean, at that point, it was a 17-7 game, but Howe stood up, turned it over on downs, and that changed the game. That was a huge game changer there. Howe took the ball at their own 19-yard line with 7:15 left to go in the third quarter. 7:50. Keep your mind on that. They took the ball with 7:15 in the third quarter. Before they would give it up, there was 2 minutes gone or 3 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. So they took 9 minutes, 23 seconds off the clock on a 17-play, 81-yard drive that ended in a 4-yard touchdown by Andrew Griffin. Howe took the lead 24-7 with 9:21 left to go in the game. Jefferson at that point trying to scramble, do razzle-dazzle, anything they could do to try to get back in the game, ended up punting after a bunch of personal fouls. Howe took the ball with 7:32 left to go in the game and put the final nail in the coffin on an 8-play, 52-yard drive and a 1-yard touchdown by Tyler Grisham to extend Howe's lead 31-7 with 4:28 left to go in the game. Jefferson, with one last attempt from the Howe 40-yard line, heaved it down the field, which Ty Harvey went up for and intercepted, and that basically sealed the deal for Howe, who took it at their own 9, ran a few plays by Cade Courtney, killed the clock, and took it to the house. And Howe, your Bulldogs are area champions for the 5th time in school history. You should be happy. You ought to celebrate in Howe, Texas. The victory light is on November the 18th, so you know you've had a good year when that light is on this late.
That's right. Oh, next week's Thanksgiving. Me and Stephen were talking about eating turkey dinner. We may not have to eat turkey dinner. We may be able to get our exercise on.
How about a Thanksgiving Day game? Anybody up for that?
Sure. I'm up for it.
Yeah.
We can pack a lunch. It'll be all right.
I don't know how my wife's going to handle that one, but
Well, tell her she can cook and come and hang out with us.
we'll try to see if we can work on that. But we don't know when the game is. We
Right,
don't
we
have
don't.
any
We-
confirmation on Friday, Saturday, Thursday. We don't know. But when we do know, we will let you know. Any final words, Michael, on this area championship for Howe?
You know, there's not a lot that can be said that you haven't said. These guys I love to watch these guys play ball. I love to watch Coach Hudson and his group of men coach this team. This is a fantastic team. I'm excited. They are just wonderful. I hate that Jaden Matthews got hurt, but maybe it was just something that tweaked, and he'll be back next week. We'll see.
All that's going through my head is that Christmas song. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hey, for everyone who had to suffer through me singing just then, for everyone who's been a part of this, Stephen Braswell, we thank you so much. Michael Mosier, I'm Monty Walker. We will see you next week at a time and place to be determined.
This has been a Grayson Publishing presentation. Howe Bulldogs football has been brought to you by Cavender Home Theater, Sweetie Pies by Karen, Howe Mercantile, Sonic of Howe, Scoggins Funeral Home, Carrie's Coffee Company, Douglas Propane, Buck Snort Barbecue, Abby's Restaurant, attorney Micah Belden, and the Howe Athletic Booster Club.